just another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, thinking up about the same mistake. Darling, will you go away? It won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys, it's Old Man G here back again. I'm joined with another illustrious cast, and we are going to be doing a Euro and Copa America finals preview, as well as reviewing the somewhat controversial England versus Denmark game yesterday. But before we get into it, if you need to remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, follow us on Twitter and X, smash the notification. Join. I've also have a new channel called Red Marvel, which is all entertainment, jazz, game reviews, all the rest of it. Links in the description, so head over to that. But first and foremost, guys, how are you doing? And well, I won't go. I'll go to Abdul last. I already know how Abdul's feeling. But everyone else, how are you feeling?
We're not happy as well.
We're good, man. It's coming home. It's coming home.
We're all angry. We're all angry
as well. So I thought, because there's obviously a lot. Send link. Okay, I'll post. Yeah, for the people that I'll post a link in the description. Give me 2 seconds. So obviously, to keep things, I guess, somewhat structured, we will talk about yesterday's game. It's just that I think that will take a lot of time. So what I want to do is we'll preview the Copa America Brazil versus Argentina first, and then we'll go into review England versus Denmark game, and then think about Italy final. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool. Okay. Right. I'll just post that in here. Right. That's linked up. But there's a link. If you got that. Okay. Cool. So let's just get straight into it. So, because I said I know we'll probably gloss over it, but the Copa America finals, man. The Copa America finals is coming on. Messi versus Neymar, effectively. If I'm not gonna lie, like I really tried to watch the Copa America games, but like I've got a busy medical job and the games are late and I have them on and they end up falling asleep. So I just end up catching the highlights when I get into some work. So I can't give a big thing. But one thing I did notice is that you can clearly see, just comparing the two competitions, the impact of fans. Because when I watched the games and watched into it, like the atmosphere there compared to a full stadium is clearly noticeable, and I don't know whether again that has an impact on obviously the players playing. But regardless, for those who have been watching it, what are your thoughts, and who do you see as the favorite going into this final? I'll start with Bilton.
Oh yeah, what's up? Brazil should be their favorites going into this game. They're home. They're hosting the tournament. They're back to back finalists now, and they have the best defense in the entire competition so far. And
but he didn't ask about Brazil though. Why are you speaking about Brazil, bro? I know you love Brazil, but that wasn't the question.
he's asking me who are the favorites. That's what I'm answering.
Nah, he asked you what you thought of the competition.
It was both. So it was both. So what do you think the competition so far, and who do you think the favorites are? So yeah, so go on, Wilson.
Yeah, the competition was pretty entertaining. I don't know if you guys saw the Paraguay-Peru game. That was very entertaining. Even the Colombia-Argentina game, it went to penalties. Colombia could have won it, but obviously Argentina won it. They won it in penalty. That was such a nerve. I'm sure Argentina were.
That game should have been 1 hour extra time. So much diving I saw that game. Argentina.
But it was a very good game. Obviously, even the Chile Brazil game, you would say when Brazil went 10 men down, maybe you thought they would have done something, but they didn't trouble Brazil that much. Even Peru, I think Peru gives way too much respect to Brazil because when in the second half, let's be real, Brazil were absolutely garbage in the second half. I think Peru just respect Brazil a little bit too much because if they would have played like that, I know why they play like that because they thought Brazil would have blitzed them. Let's be real. If it wasn't for Peru goalkeeper, I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name, but if it wasn't for, he made two really good saves, one against Neymar and I think it was Richarlison, I think was the second save one. But if it wasn't for him, the game would have been wrapped up in the first half. But in the second half, they didn't trouble Ederson much time except for that header. I think the Peru defender should have done better, but I guess it was just not their day, and Brazil are through now. But as for this final, Brazil are hands down the favorites to win it. That doesn't mean they're gonna win it, but they should win it because you're at home. Neymar wasn't there in 2019. Brazil, you could say this it's even stronger now with Casemiro back in the lineup. The defense is amazing. I think Brazil only conceded one goal in the entire tournament so far. So they should win it, and especially if Casemiro playing because Casemiro is Brazil good luck charm. They haven't lost any competitive game with him. Every time he starts for Brazil, they haven't lose a game yet. So, and the last time Brazil lost a major final was in 1950. So they should win it, but we'll see what's gonna happen. And as for Argentina, I think this is Messi's last chance to win something with Argentina for sure. Because in 2024, how old is Messi by the way?
34, 3.
You're 34.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in 3 years he's gonna be 37. So I don't know if we're gonna see the same Messi that we seen this season and 3 more years. So this is his best chance to win it, to finally win something for Argentina because I think winning the World Cup is gone. I don't think 2022 Argentina is gonna be much. They're gonna be contenders, but they won't do much. I don't think they're gonna win it. So this is Messi, obviously last chance, fifth time's a charm, man. But and as for Neymar, obviously, he won a competitive tournament for Brazil, but that tournament doesn't count no more. So, kind of needs this because even people saying Messi needs this. I think Messi needs this more for his legacy because we regard this guy as one of the greatest to ever play the game, and he hasn't really delivered any trophy yet for his country. And as for Neymar still has time. Neymar has 2022, even 2024, I would say. But when you go Neymar injuries issues you kind of say maybe Neymar, this is your chance now. You're in the final. He's been wanting this. He wanted Argentina in the final. So this is your chance to take over and beat Messi in the final. Or because even if Brazil do lose, I do think the narrative is gonna go strong. I know the narrative is gonna be strong, especially.
Well, I mean, that's because you say Messi is more than Neymar, but obviously, given the fact that this is in Brazil,
That's what I was gonna say because losing at home to Argentina, especially at home, it'd be very crazy. And also, this Brazil team is way stronger than the Chile team that won it in 2015 and 2016. So I would say Brazil have more pressure on them because they're home. They know they have to win it. They're the favorites to win this. And as for Argentina and Messi, they're in another final. We're going to see it's going to be a very good final. But when I mean very good, don't expect it to be entertaining because this is going to be a fight, bro.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of fight. And I'm very happy to see Casemiro versus Messi again. I love that battle. Every time we watch the El Clasico, we always watch the Casemiro versus Messi. So it's going to be entertaining to see how this goes out. And shout out to Gabriel Jesus, man, for being a kung fu thinking he was in a karate movie. He's not going to be in the final. He's suspended, but I still favor Brazil to win this. So I'm going to go 2-1 Brazil to win this.
Okay, fair. Just before we get into the other guys, just Anas Said actually has a question. It's off topic, but just want to ask the panel. Will you guys be watching Poirier versus McGregor 3 and any predictions?
I think Poirier will win.
I'm gonna watch it, but I don't really know. Like based on the last game, based on the last match, like Dustin will most likely win.
I don't know that much about UFC that much. I know Khabib's obviously and McGregor, but I don't know what's going on that much in UFC. A lot of people saying Poirier is going to win because McGregor They say he talks a lot of trash, but I hear he backs it
No,
up.
but the
So
thing is,
I really don't
McGregor, a lot
know.
of people they call him washed now. You know.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that guy Poor might beat him. So I don't know.
Yeah, he beat him last year, and like January. Sorry, in January.
McGregor
just-
is like James Rodriguez. He had a good period. He was hyped up, and now he's washed up.
Well,
So-
he's a brand though. That's the thing. Like he's he's washed up, but like he's
Yeah, as
he
a
basically
fighter,
made
I'm talking
MMA,
about.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about as a fighter. Obviously,
As a
I think he
fighter.
made the most money out of all the
Mm.
athletes this year. So
Yeah.
I need to give him respect on that.
Right. Shout out to Rasmus watching on Twitch. Appreciate it, buddy. And shout out to Eddie as well in the chat. So always appreciate your support. SMB says if Argentina wins, that would be a bad look for Neymar. I agree with that. So Undisputed. Thanks for joining, man. Undisputed. I don't know if you watched the Copa America. Just brief thoughts on the competition and who you think your favorites are going into this.
Yeah, actually, Copa America works out better for me as a North American than Euros, just timing wise.
Okay.
But I think, oh man, this is tricky. You know what? I'm gonna go. I think everyone else will predict Brazil, so I will be devil's advocate and predict Argentina, just because. Also,
Hey, you're Argentina fanboy, bro. Stop lying.
Argentina fanboy and Italy fanboy. So
Reverse
I'm really nervous actually for this weekend. This is the most nervous weekend I've ever had since the time I was waiting for my acceptance letter from university. I haven't been this nervous. Not even kidding.
But your boy, your Captain Henderson might win a Euros though. Is that what you're nervous for?
Yeah, but
For him to surpass Gerrard, man.
no, he can't surpass Jared. There's nothing he can do. He could score an overhead bicycle kick in injury time and win it, and he still wouldn't surpass Jared.
He has a Euros, a Champions League, and a Premier League as a captain for Liverpool. Doesn't surpass
Yes.
Gerrard.
But as long as if someone can just injure Kane and just give Henderson the captain's armband, I would be really happy. Sorry if that sounds not classy, but because I really. But he's going to be on the bench, though. That's the thing. So it doesn't. People aren't even going to count it really. He's going to be on the bench. So and there's no Liverpool players starting in England. Trent is injured, so I prefer my Marco agenda to come through. But as for this, everything I've seen so far from the Copa, to be honest, this is a pretty evenly matched final. I don't see a favorite here, unlike what some people may say. I saw Brazil against Peru. I saw them against Chile. They were all right. They were nothing special, to be honest. Even probably Argentina against Ecuador is probably the most impressive anyone's ever played. As for this, I think if the Atalanta defender Romero, because he's been linked to Man United, if you've heard, if he has to be fit, because if he's not fit, then the rest of their defenders are a bunch of bums, and Neymar's just gonna kill them. Neymar will kill them if he's not fit. Romero needs to be fit. I think midfield-wise, I think Argentina's midfield is more technical than Brazil's midfield. Just in general, from what I've seen, Brazil's is more industrious with Fred and Casemiro in a double pivot.
Yeah.
But the technical ability, the Paredes was also just better able to hold on to the ball. It's Neymar. Neymar's gonna have a lot of fun against that Argentina defense, so they're gonna have to play compact, but don't drop off too deep. But always make sure you got protection. I would play with Di Maria, just because Di Maria, as Muntaha used to say, he used to mark Neymar in Clásicos, playing as a right winger and then tracking back. You know, he's just as fast as Neymar, so that helps, right? And I'm just looking at this from an Argentina perspective. If it goes to penalties, I saw Emi Martinez talking so much trash and just backing it up against Colombia. So that's going to be fun because I don't rate Ederson that highly, personally.
I think Emi Martinez is probably, I would argue, even though Ederson obviously plays for Manchester City, I think as a shot stopper on a 1-on-1, I don't think Ederson hasn't really been a good penalty saver, even in the Premier League. I don't remember him saving that many penalties really for City. Whereas
almost as bad as De Gea.
No, that's not even De Gea's. That's not even De Gea's. Just I hope as a United fan, De Gea is bad at awful penalties. I don't know why all didn't see it. But that's a separate story. But yeah, just wrap up, finish your point, Undisputed.
No, I think this game is 50-50, and I think it will go to extra time if both teams have fit players, because Brazil's attack will probably be, I'm guessing, Richarlison.
And Richarlison, Neymar, and
Everton.
The kid from Benfica, Everton
Yeah.
Suarez.
Okay, fine. Okay. What is Firmino in the team? Was he not taken?
Yes.
Yeah,
Taken him as off bench.
Yeah, but he's dog shit for Brazil.
Didn't he score a goal against the? Who was it?
No, I think. Sorry, I just guys come back. No, he doesn't. He doesn't start at all or anything like that.
But he scored a goal against. I forgot who did they play against Brazil? The controversial win. Was it against Colombia?
In the group.
Yeah, he scored against Colombia.
In the group,
right? Though, wasn't it? It was in the group.
Yeah,
in the group. It was in the group.
Was that the one where it hits the ref and then the Colombia players were complaining about that?
Speaking of ref, I haven't talked about refs yet. Vilton has been skating around this topic for some time now, but we all know what's going to happen in this game, right? We all know.
Well, we know Messi's going to ball and win the Copa America.
No. It's in Brazil. The referee is probably Brazilian. All of his family has been taken hostage. This is a fact, by the way. and unless Brazil wins this, they're not getting. His family will be killed. So this is all fact, by the way. So
I mean, Germany lubricated Brazil and Brazil.
No. These guys are so corrupt. It's unbelievable. Like even last game against Colombia, these guys were wrestling Otamendi to the ground, pulling their shirt, no penalty. Vilton, did you see that? No. Okay, must not.
Yeah. I saw
you saw that exact scene, right?
And as he said, the referee is Uruguayan in the final.
No. But his family has been taken hostage by the Brazilian government. This is all fact. And there's no way this referee is going to be even remotely unbiased. No chance in hell. So, oh man, it was originally planned to be in Argentina as well, but then COVID hits. So fuck.
So
it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. Montaha. Have you been watching Copa America? Thoughts, and then who you think is going to win? Who's going to win the final? Favorites?
Man, I don't know why I have a weird feeling, man, for the finals, man. And the feeling is, for me, this is like it's totally subjective, man.
Okay.
I think so, man. Both the home teams are going to lose, man. In the respective finals of Euros and Copa America.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So that's England are going to lose, and then Brazil are going to lose.
Yeah, it's a feeling, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So let's touch this Copa America finals first. I think so, man. This game is going to be a very tight game. KG as last season, remember the semifinal, and for me, like I think so. The pressure is more on from Brazil. It's totally on Neymar because without Neymar, they won the Copa America. So with him losing in the final, the home country, that's like to be honest, that's big, man. That's big, and we know Brazil Argentina is like a massive rivalry when it comes to footballing rivalry, like international rivalry, one of the most iconic rivalry as well. And look, man, what I see from Brazil is they don't know how to kill the game. You know what I mean? Look at the last game against Peru. You know what? Neymar could have scored a brace. Like they could have finished the game in the first half, as Wilton said. You know, but still they're lacking the final third again. And sometimes Neymar's finishing is iffy, man. Like you cannot rely on Neymar scoring clutch goals sometimes. You know, because I feel like sometimes he overdoes it. You know, when it comes to final third. You know, with regards to Argentina, man. It's totally opposite with Argentina, right? Argentina as a team will concede goals, but they will outscore you. They'll blitz you, you know, within the 5-10 minutes. With the guys, with Messi, Di Maria, I mean, they have what's his name? This Inter Milan striker. I forgot the guy's name. Martinez. Yeah. So I think so. He's going to be very big for this game as well. Lo Celso, did you saw Lo Celso ball? The through ball he gave to Messi, and then Messi gave it to Martinez. What's his name? Yeah. So for me, Lautaro Martinez, yeah. So, and man, this is like the problem is like you cannot trust Argentina defense, man. But you can still have a faith on Brazil, you know, to do a kind of shit housery. And look at the centre back pairing, bro. Marquinhos, Thiago Silva have been playing at how many years they have played together? 6, 7 years, I think so. Then you have Renan Lodji. Renan Lodji is defensively solid as well. Danilo, yeah, he does it. He does the job, you know. So, and then you have Casemiro, Fred, you know. Those are the two engines of the midfield. So I trust more of a Brazil in the final because they can shit house, you know. But Argentina, bro, I don't know. Can they contain Brazil? To be honest, it's not that difficult to contain this Brazil other than Neymar. Let's be honest, okay? Richarlison's been off in this tournament, bro. I don't trust Firmino as well. So you left with who? Paqueta and Neymar, like last game.
And this dude called Everton.
Look, Everton Soares is like, you know what? He's like a villain of this team, you know, Villian. You know, the like Hazard is like a Neymar of Chelsea. You know, like it's like that for me when I see them together. So it rides a lot on Neymar. The pressure is on Neymar from a Brazil side, definitely, bro. And I can't see. I can see Brazil losing this game, bro, because as of Wilton said that, like when last time they lost in the major competition final, like 1950 something, he said. Man, that's insane, man. That's insane record. Like, to be honest, I see Argentina winning this game by 2-1 or something.
Wait,
like that.
1998? Are we not counting that?
At home. I'm talking
okay.
about
at home. Yeah. So, man, look, my thought, like, from a matchup perspective, for Argentina, it's a really bad matchup, man. Brazil can contain. Brazil can do shit house. You know, on set pieces, they're better. Argentina, for me, attackingly and the way Undisputed touched on the technical midfielders like Rodrigo de Paul and all these guys. So I think so. Lo Celso, they will create more, and I think so. They will control the tempo of this game as well. So Argentina will have possession, and we know how it's going to work. And Tite, we know, man, he loves to be sitting back and doing shit housery, man. And even with the 10 men, they controlled Peru. Yeah, I know it's very late in the game though, but still. With Argentina, bro, look, they started really well against Colombia. Don't get me wrong. When they scored early goal, I thought, man, they're going to rip apart now Colombia by 2-3 more goals or something like that. But they failed to do so. And then you saw the finish, right, from Colombia, man. So that was insane, man. And this was final. Okay, we have extra time as well in the final, right? So Copa America, yeah, we have.
Yeah, there's it's only the extra time in the final.
Look, man, like for me, for my narrative, I want Neymar to win this thingy and Messi to lose because I'm a Madrid fan, obviously. So I want Messi to lose. But in all objectivity, I see Argentina winning this game 2-1.
Fair enough. Abdul, bro, what are your thoughts? Been watching it? Favorites? What are your thoughts, man?
I have been watching it actually. Like Brazil for me are clear favorites. They have the thing is, like, people, they look at Messi and they forget like you don't, like, one superstar, like a 34-year-old Messi isn't enough. It just isn't enough to carry a team, man. Like when they come up against a good team. And if you've watched the Argentina play, the problem with Argentina is they always start off really well. But after they score that early goal, I don't know, they just sit back, and the intensity of their attacks and the quality of their attacks, it just drops drastically. That's what's happening in every single game. Like Ecuador could easily have come back. Colombia came back. You know what I mean? Argentina's defense just isn't good enough. I can't see them holding out Brazil. So for me, like Brazil are even bigger favorites than what the bookmakers make them out to be, because like all around from position to position, like I think 9 or 10 positions I would give to Brazil. 9 or 10 positions. So like it would take a miracle for me, for Argentina to win. But in general, I think it's been a good competition. There hasn't been many goals in the competition, to be fair. A lot of them, like in the knockout stage, I don't think there's been anything. There's one game that was 3-3, all the rest were 1-0 or 1-1. so it hasn't been the most entertaining. To be fair, it hasn't been like the Euros, but I think Brazil needs to win this because Wilton's touched on this, but it would be a disaster for Neymar's legacy to bottle especially as big favorites they are. It would be a disaster to his legacy that he bottled the Copa America in his own backyard to Argentina, a heavily depleted side, man. And to be fair, like there's one thing in Argentina's manager. I don't understand why he doesn't start Di Maria, man. Like he's never starting Di Maria. Di Maria, arguably one of their best players, and he's not starting.
That's very strange.
I don't get it. Every time he comes on, he has an impact, but he doesn't start it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. For me, Brazil, they need to win this, man. They need to win this. Neymar needs this. Messi needs to win it, but I just don't think there is the capacity for him to win it. And to be fair, like I wouldn't even criticize. The thing is, I think if you look back at the last couple of El Clásicos between Barca and Madrid, you would notice that Messi's been marked out of the games. He hasn't had the impact that he wanted to. And I think a big reason for that is Casemiro. I think Casemiro, he's finally figured out how to mark this guy, how to mark him out the game. And I think tomorrow, or on Saturday, is going to be another example of him marking Messi out the game. Casemiro, he's figured it out, in my opinion. And he's become very effective at marking him out. So there is no scenario in my head where Argentina see this through. Like even if they score early, I think Brazil will push on because I feel like the last couple of games are misrepresentative of how Brazil actually are. I think they know that they are so strong, and I think they know that they are such big favorites that they've been messing around a bit. Like that Jesus thing, bro, that fly kick. I don't think he would have done that in like a tight, close game.
I don't know. Go on, Gab. Yeah, just go on. It just there's just certain things that I just don't understand.
Yeah. But I think they've been messing around. Like I think they've been messing around, and that's why people they say, oh, like Undisputed said, oh, for me it's a 50-50. I don't think you've seen the best of Brazil yet, and I think you'll see the best of Brazil against Argentina. But all in all, like it's been an alright tournament. I'm happy that we got the desired final. I think that's the only positive thing because other than that, for me, it's been pretty boring to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thanks, man. So is there anyone else that just wants to speak on Copa America before we move on into what happened yesterday? So there's quite a few people in here, so just speak up if you want to speak on Copa America, how you found it, and
can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Abdullah,
man. Yeah, go for it, bro.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I joined late. I went out to do
something. No, bro.
I'm back. Hope I didn't miss much.
No, we're gonna be live for a fair bit anyway. So yeah, just speak on
it. Big up to the panel, Muntaha, Abdul, Vilton, Undisputed, everybody. Kind of big up to you guys. I watched the Copa America and I look at the Brazil team and the Argentina team. There's a difference in those teams. I look at the Brazil versus the match before they played the Peru. Was it Ecuador? And I think I told Vilton and Muntaha this. I'm not sure if it's me, but I told Vilton, I said, this is the best Neymar I've seen for a very, very long time. This Neymar I'm seeing is disciplined than the Neymar I've seen. The last Neymar I've seen was the MSN Neymar. The MSN Neymar under Barcelona. When they went through was it the treble under Neymar, Messi, and Luis Suarez, and the first season of Neymar in PSG. This Neymar I'm seeing is the reciprocal of that Neymar I'm seeing because he's disciplined, he's playing with happiness, he's playing with fun, he doesn't kind of complain. He just want to play his football and he's happy. That is the Neymar I want to see every day, over and over and over again, consistently. That is the Neymar I want to see. Not the Neymar who's gonna be rolling on the floor, getting injured for 2 months, 3 months, 6 weeks. No. This Neymar I'm saying is the Neymar I want to see for a very long time. And this Neymar is getting matured enough because it's kind of giving me happiness that yes, this is the Neymar everybody in world football want to see. Someone that is disciplined, who knows what he's doing, who is using his brain to play football and understand, oh, I know when to dribble, I know when to pass, and I know when to score goals. This is the reciprocal of Neymar I want to see. So overall, it's tough because Argentina having Otamendi in that defense is class A for me. Class A. I do not know why he's being put into that defense.
Do they have any other options?
They have Romero of Argentina at Atalanta. I don't know why they're not using that guy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He has he played for Atalanta. He's a very good central back. So Otamendi playing for me is a class A because that defense that Otamendi of a defense look very sketchy for me. I don't even trust my defense. And Brazil have Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Militao, and all this kind of defender. They have a very experienced and well-dressed central back. It's gonna be a dicey match because it's the final everybody want to see. My question, I told Vuitton, who is gonna man up between Neymar and Lionel Messi? We have to see a man between the both of them. Someone have to man up and show the world. Yes, I have this talent to show the world, and I've been saying it. I have been skeptical of Neymar, and I've been saying it in world football. The two most talented players in world football. People may say Hazard. No, it's Neymar Jr. and Lionel Messi.
It's only HH that says Hazard. There's no one else that says Hazard. It's just HH. But go on, Abdullah.
So the two most talented players I've ever seen in world football, in terms of talent, I didn't say it's better than Neymar. In terms of talent, is Neymar Jr. and Lionel Messi, and two of them are facing up on Saturday. I cannot wait.
Abdullah, who's going to win for you, bro? Who's going to win?
Oh, it's like when the competitors, I already said it, it's Brazil. I'm going with Brazil, and the reason I'm going with, not just because I don't want Messi to win, just because there's a I've seen a different Neymar, unlike the Neymar I've seen in PSG. A different Neymar who's ready to take responsibility for the team, not just for it. Like Shadow is kind of stuff for his.
Abdullah, what if they lose the final with Neymar?
It's gonna be a disaster if they lose the final in Maracanã in Brazil. It's gonna
be. How much you'll criticize Neymar? Let's assume that he played good, and still Brazil lose, right? Let's say on penalty shootout or something like that. But so still you're going to blame Neymar for that loss.
Before I can criticize Neymar, I need to see how much they lose. Like how much impact Neymar has in the team. Do they lose as a team or do they just lose normally? Because it kind of depends on how they lose the match for me to criticize them. If they lose randomly like normal lose, I was like, oh, I understand why they lose. But you have to see how they lose for I can criticize Neymar Jr. But I think I'm gonna give it overall Brazil because I believe Brazil have the better team, and for me, they are the most well-team, and they have to keep an eye on Paqueta because that guy himself, that guy is becoming a player. So you have to keep an eye on him very well. But overall, I'm gonna give it to Brazil though, because I believe they have the ability to kind of, in a difficult moment. I know Argentina want to go all out on Neymar Jr. Same thing with what's called with Brazil too. They want to go all out on Lionel Messi. So it's gonna be a dicey match, a very physical and aggressive match, and I'm looking forward to that on Saturday.
Fair enough. Just a quick question to the panel. Obviously from offensive fullback, Lautaro Martinez or Richarlison, who is worse?
Richarlison. Easy Richarlison because Richarlison. Because the reason I'm saying it, Richarlison, this guy is a better defender than actually scoring goals. If you've been watching the Copa America, because Brazil, like, he's so good defensively. When he needs to defend, he's better at that. At least Lautaro is scoring goals, but Richarlison, my goodness, bro. But it's not just him though. It's everybody that wears the number 9. Gabigol, Firmino, Jesus. Anytime they play as a striker, they just can't put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know why. But easy, it has to be Richarlison.
The only player, Adaj Free says, the only player that can stop Messi from winning the Copa is Otamendi. I don't not disagree with that, to be honest. So did anyone else have anything to say just regarding
Yeah. Actually, I disagree to some of the individuals in this hangout said that Argentina is the depleted side. No, that's not true, actually. Argentina have a striker. Okay, they have like better offensive depth than Brazil. Let's be honest there. The midfield is, I'll say, other than DM position, I think the AMs and CMs are better than Brazil. The only department Brazil wins over Argentina is goalkeeper, back four, you should say, and DM. I don't think so. Argentina
I wouldn't even say goalkeeper. Like for Premier League fans, and maybe Red Devil Studios can agree with me on this, at least shot stopper. I'm not sure.
What if Alisson start?
Yeah, then they would obviously, but they're not starting their best goalkeeper. So
I think for me, I know it's controversial. I think Ederson Moraes of Man City is a better goalkeeper for me than Emiliano Martinez for me, because
That's fair.
when I look at Alisson Becker of Liverpool and Ederson Moraes for me, Ederson Moraes is more like, yes, Man City fans call him a midfielder, but I see more of a composed goalkeeper than Alisson Becker for me. If I have to look at Emiliano Martinez and Ederson Moraes, I have to go to Ederson Moraes because he's more composed and is very calm in the ball than Emiliano Martinez for me.
who's the better
And
shot
Alisson
stopper
has been
though
shit.
on
But I think
penalties and stuff?
in penalty, I'll go. People may say Emiliano Martinez, but I've seen Ederson Moraes save penalties before, and I've seen Emiliano Martinez. I'll give it to Ederson Moraes for me than Emiliano Martinez.
But undisputed, Alisson has had a shit season.
Yeah, but he's better. He's better than
No, but
fair enough.
Ederson and Alisson, for me, they're pretty comparable.
I think
they're
Alisson
both as good.
before
Alisson-
this season, I think Alisson was better though. Like this season though, he was just really bad.
He scored one of the greatest goals of all time. Okay, chill. he literally got us in the Champions League.
Oh yeah.
That was sorcery, man. That was sorcery.
That was HG's reverse juju coming in there, man. I mean, that was whack. That goal.
By the way,
let me respond to somebody here. Somebody said, "Don't you think Neymar might try to showboat and try to over-dribble?" Yeah. See, I've said it. I think I told Tosin too, and I told Vuitton too. This is the best Neymar I have seen for a very long time. The MSN era and the first season in PSG. That Neymar Junior is the Neymar I'm seeing now. He's more mature and more disciplined. I don't know if it is the Brazilian coach. What is his name? I don't even know his name.
Tite is a good influence.
So that is making him disciplined. The Neymar I'm seeing now in the Copa America is more disciplined and he's taking responsibility to the team. Not the Neymar I've seen on PSG second and third season, rolling up the floor, getting injured for 6 months or 2 years out. This Neymar I'm seeing is more disciplined and he wants to play for the team. It's more disciplined. So I don't think it's gonna show. It's just gonna play. See, Neymar is playing with happiness. He's playing more with happiness and fun now. He's enjoying himself, and this is the Neymar I want to see for the foreseeable future, over and over, and because he's been disrespected a lot. So this Neymar I'm seeing is making me happy because I've seen him play. I've seen more of Neymar. So now he needs to show more consistently because people disrespect him. People doesn't rate him the way they rate Lionel Messi and other guys too.
That's fair. Does anyone else have anything to say about like Copa America predictions, stuff like that before we move on?
Yeah, I have something to say.
Yeah, go on, Z-Man.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing around the Copa America, Brazil versus Argentina. My only thing is, I feel like Brazil have more disciplined players, and at the end of the day, if anything, this tournament has shown us that it's about discipline. And I feel like with the players they have, they might not have the most technical, gifted players. You could say Argentina can compete with them, but when it comes just to the back four being very disciplined, experienced veterans in the European style as well, and understanding how to defend. And then you also look at their midfield, Casemiro and Fred, who are used to in their club, even in their club performances, playing more of a defensive role and just being reserved throughout the whole game and waiting for those clear-cut chances. Neymar, as Abdul mentioned, being more disciplined than he usually is. You also have Lucas Paqueta, who's not being spoken about, and I think his relationship with Neymar is going to be key to them, and I feel like this team as a unit is more reliable in 90 minutes because Argentina, I don't think they could cope with that defensive mechanism or that discipline that's required. Like Argentina for me is bound to concede a goal. They're bound to concede a goal. Well, with this team, I feel like they're not. They're less likely to concede a goal, and they're more likely to not chase the game and just stay disciplined throughout the whole game. In terms of their overall best performances, it depends what Brazilian side has shown because Brazil has shown frailties, and Argentina have shown that they could punish you if you're not defensively disciplined. For me, in terms of their offensive options, Argentina. Nico Gonzalez. You see, Nico Gonzalez is a weird choice to me, but somehow he operates within the system that the Argentina manager has them doing. Even though I do think there are better players on the field, I do think that Argentina just have that creative aspect in their front lines, and they do have Lautaro Martinez and people who are willing to press, and their team seems to be more united, more so than ever compared to the other previous competitions. It's just that I think that this Brazilian side, and what their makeup is in terms of squad is suited for this final if both teams play at their best.
Fine. Fair?
I really hope that Fred is the guy who misplaces the pass that leads to the Argentina goal.
Honestly, I know you want Messi to win, but
honestly, though, like I think
I'm gonna have a Fred Thiago agenda next season. So, but go on.
Thiago who? For Brazil, by the way. But
he shoulda, coulda, would.
He's a bastard. He's a bastard. He chose Spain, so you have to know that he's a bastard.
He got benched for the Spanish national team.
He got benched by an 18-year-old man. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But anyway,
honestly though, like I just wanna give props to Messi's tournament so far. Honestly, like he's had 9 goals and assists and since through the tournament. I think this weird stat I saw earlier today was like Maradona in '86 also had 9 goals and assists getting into the final.
He had 10.
So I don't know if they're trying to do some script writing. I don't know if they're trying to do something. I don't know. We'll see. But it would be disastrous. It would be worse than the 7-1 if Brazil lose this. This would be as bad as 1950. Okay, Vilton is he's the Brazilian here. He's the aficionado. So he'll know what I'm talking about. Like, this will be as bad as 1950 if they lose this. They haven't lost to Argentina in a final in 84 years.
Jeez.
So, man, if you lose at the Maracanã, oh man, like I don't even know what will happen. Like that would be disastrous. That would be disastrous.
Gotta pray for the players and their families, man. So,
and I think you guys are all behind me, Brazil.
I think the problem. I think the problem. I don't think for me. I'm not a Messi fan, but maybe neither a little bit of Neymar. But the problem is, people really seriously want Lionel Messi to win it just because he hasn't won an international trophy for like how many years? For like, is it something years? I don't even know how many years.
He's over. This will be his 5th final.
His 5th final, and he hasn't won it. But people forget something. At the end, Brazil won the Copa America without Neymar. He was injured, and this year Neymar is playing. This year, he wants to prove a point to the whole world that yes, Brazil did not win the Copa America without me. I want to win it for my country this year. So he has. Not only Messi has a point, but Neymar too has a point to prove too. People may say we are giving Brazil the proof. We have to give them the proof because what they've done, they've made it this far to show that yes, they can easily be kind of called favorite and rely on.
Yeah, and the center of the pitch will be all about Neymar and Messi, man. Neymar's going to play as a false 9 in this game. He'll have Richarlison to his left, Everton to his right.
Hasn't he been playing as left winger all tournament?
No.
Yeah, no, but some games, he's played as like a withdrawn center forward. Like I think in the Peru game it was like that, and then the what was the game before that? I forget. Was it Ecuador? Yeah. No, not Ecuador. Ecuador played Argentina.
Was it Colombia?
Chile.
Yeah, Chile. He was playing exactly as a withdrawn center forward in that game. So
because
I mean, like, I look at it, I think in terms of attack, I don't know, man. Like, they have Neymar, so Neymar and Messi, I think they cross each other out. But like,
I would love you to tell me
supplement players. I think Lautaro is.
I would love you to tell me.
Lautaro is better than anyone that they'll have in that front line.
Even Di Maria is better. Di
Maria, and they have to start Di Maria. This is a final. Yeah. You just have to start him.
Even like Papu Gomez is probably better than any attacking-minded player.
Victor should kind of claim.
And Richarlison has been terrible.
I watched their last match. I don't know if Victor you could agree with me on this. I would love Vinicius Junior to play this final. There's a reason.
Relax.
Let
No,
me explain.
Bro.
Okay, go.
Let me explain. The reason I said it is because the last match Vinicius Junior came in against Peru, he had more impact than Emerson, or is he Everton, or what is his name? I don't even know that Everton. He has more impact than that guy. So I think Vinicius Junior and Richarlison playing together on the wings. Vinicius Junior may have this break decision making, but he can dribble and he has speed. It will give a lot of problem to Argentina.
Abdullah, can I say
unlike the Emerson.
Everton can do the same
Abdullah,
thing.
It can do the same, but I think Vinicius Junior has. I don't know how to put this word.
Wait,
Abdullah,
coming
off
from
the bench, right?
or off the bench, Abdullah? Do you want him to start?
I want Vinicius Junior to start ahead of
No, he can't start. He can't start.
No, they're not gonna start it.
No, he can't start.
They're not gonna start.
He can't start because Abdullah, he hasn't even in the Colombia game, bro. Like, not the Colombia game. Not what am I saying? Not the Colombia game, but even then, bro, we still did start him. So there's no way Vinny's gonna start in a
Abdullah, Wilton. Vinicius could be a very tactical player for you coming off.
The bench, against our legs, of course.
Sure,
like, let's say the game go to 120 minutes. Of course, you want a Vinny too. Like, against tired legs, of course. But start him. That's too much. Abdullah.
And you know what the problem, like the technical problem with Vinicius to start this game is, like, Brazil is obviously ass in front of goal, right? And you're putting Vinicius there now, so you are actually writing off your chances now. So it's not.
But I think the thing is though, like, I just feel like Brazil overall though, they have the better base, as you guys have already said. Like, they have the better defensive base. I think in midfield they're even more solid. They close spaces down better. They're better defensively.
Because think about it, Abdullah. Oh, sorry, Tosin, finish your point, bro.
Oh yeah, and my guy Lucas Paquetá, man.
And Neymar on the same way.
Absolute baller.
Back to your Vinny.
But Tosin, this could be purple patch for this guy, man.
It's not a purple patch. The last 12 months since he came in the league, bro, taking his form from Lyon into the thing, he's been really good.
Bro, but this is the problem with, like, let's be honest, Tosin, man. Okay, purists rate this guy very highly. I understand why you guys rate him highly. But in my opinion,
he has work rate. Don't forget, he has work rate too.
Okay, no, you can get him out, get something out of him, bro. But still, man, like Paquetá, I think so. The burden is on still Neymar. Paquetá could be a side role. You know what I mean? To play a good
I know. But, like, he scored the winner in the quarters. He scored the winner in the semis.
And against
that's good, man. But still,
against Chile, that was an instant impact. He just came off.
When he came out of the Chile game,
that was an instant impact. But, like, even in the Ecuador game when we already qualified to the knockout, Vinny didn't even start that game, so it doesn't make sense to start him in the final.
So Wilton,
right?
Wilton.
He may be
the biggest critic of France, right? You were biggest critic of France, right?
Yeah, what about France?
So you guys are pretty much playing like a BTEC French team, bro. It's like a BTEC French team. Brazil is not playing a Brazilian football. Let's be honest, okay? And
what's Brazilian football?
No, Brazilian football is more open play style football. This is not Brazilian's way of playing football.
They don't have the players, though. They don't have the players.
No, but my point is, right? So, look, man. When I see Brazil playing this game, bro, you guys have a biggest issue of not killing the games, bro. Let's be honest, Wilson.
No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about why Vinny shouldn't start over Richarlison, because Richarlison may be bad, but Abdullah, he's a better finisher than Vinny. That's for sure. And his defensive work rate, which is weird. He's very good at that.
Yeah, very good.
Which is weird for a striker. But
actually, you know what? Vinicius has a better defensive work rate than Richarlison.
I don't know, bro. What I see,
no. If you watch him, watch Vinicius Junior's defensive work rate in La Liga last season against Sevilla. He was marking the shit out of Jesus Navas, man. I mean,
they both have good work rate, though.
Yeah. No, but I still agree with you.
Guys, it's a good conversation, but we're gonna have to move on, unfortunately.
But before we move on, Red Devil,
last point.
Yeah, to answer the hand seed question. He asked should easy. It has to be Firmino. It has to be Firmino. Say what you want to say about him, but I would rather start him over Barbosa. if I had to make a choice.
Can you tell me what happened to Neres?
He did. Tite embarrassed, bro. Tite
Bro, he's a flash in the
Rafinha
pan.
didn't even get called up too.
Yeah,
bro.
Rafinha should have been called
Rafinha
up.
didn't get called up too. So it is what
Filton,
it
how
is.
come you guys lost Thiago and you lost Jorginho?
Bro, it's fine, bro. Thiago been asked at the Euro anyway, and Jorginho, if he wins the Euro, another Brazilian win another trophy, bro. So it's fine, bro.
Possibly Ballon d'Or. Who knows?
Oh God.
Let's get
you start this bum Fred. Anyway, whatever.
Let's get to the main event. England versus Denmark. England obviously through to the European final. I think this was probably the image on Twitter. Controversial circumstances, obviously. The England winning 2-1, penalty awarded, and obviously I think a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on this game. What I want to do to make it constructive, we'll analyze the penalty incident, and I think a lot of people are talking about that. But what I want to we will talk about that, but I also want people to tell me like actually the nature of the game, because it's almost like because of that penalty, everyone's kind of forgotten about how the actual game was played up until that point. So before we say like, was it penalty, was it not, England forward, all the rest of it, I'll start off with Abdul, obviously, because obviously you're a Danish fan and your thoughts. Tell me how you thought the game went, and then obviously your thoughts on the penalty.
Yeah, for the game was like it was a game of each half, because the first half I think it was very 50-50. I don't think there was a dominant side. Like even when you look at the possession, I think it was 50-50 for the majority of that first half. I think after Denmark scored, I think that's when it started shifting to England's favor, because we became a little more defensive. You know, we wanted to protect our lead, because we knew like we were aware of England's dangers in the attack. In the second half, because we had to wait, because like our manager, he made a lot of changes in the second half. Like it's actually not usual. What you saying?
I was going to interrupt. That was one thing I was going to ask. Is like, do you think that the multiple changes? Because I think he made like, I think 3 possible in one, especially taking like some Damsgaard off. Do you think
he used all 5 in the 90?
Do you think that I want to say destabilized, but affected Denmark going forward in terms of the attacking threat, in terms of the thing? Do you think that had an impact?
I'm happy that I watched the post-match interview, because that's where we got the answer for why he did it.
Okay.
Because we can sit here and guesstimate, you know, why he did it and which effect it had. Because I don't think it had a positive effect on the game. I think it made England, like the game, very one-sided. But he said that he didn't make the changes because of tactics. He made them because the players were drained. Like I don't think people realize that we were in Azerbaijan this weekend. Like that's basically Asia, you know what I mean? So we had to try where it's very, very hot. So we had to go all the way to Azerbaijan, back to Denmark, and then travel again to England. So he said, I mean, the players were absolutely knackered. So he came out after the game and said, those weren't tactical changes. It was simply because of energy. We needed more energy in the side. And I understood that 100%. But it became very clear to me very early on in the second half that he's playing for penalties.
Okay.
And like it or not, it was a successful plan until you know what happened.
Yes.
So
speak on it.
It's not like he went defensive and then we got ambushed and conceded 3 goals. You know what I mean? So for me, it wasn't. I mean, we were successfully. Yes, you had your chances, but you didn't take the chances that you made. So I think we were very much trying to do what Switzerland did in extra time. Because after Switzerland scored against France, I don't know if you remember this, They never had another shot on target.
Mm.
They didn't have any shot on goal after that third goal went in because they were purely playing for penalties. And I think what happened there in extra time and that penalty, when you're analyzing the game, it completely changes your perspective on the game, because those changes and the strategy, they changed the strategy to play for penalties. It sheds poor light on the manager. Why? Because we didn't make it to penalties. But if we made it to penalties and we won on pens, no one would criticize them for those changes that we made. You know what I mean? And that's why, like football, I think a lot of people are running away with the fact that England were the better team. They were the better team, and they deserved to win. But there's nothing such as deserve to win in football. There is nothing. Like if you look at La Liga, every time Real Madrid or Barcelona lose or drop points to a small team, they deserve to win the game. But they've been hit on the counter, one mistake, draw or lose the game. So there's nothing such as they deserve to win the game. They played better. Well, of course, they're supposed to play better. 55 million population. We are only 5. They're 11 times bigger than us. You know what I mean? But all in all, I think England, man, good team. But they didn't manage to beat Denmark in 9 minutes, and I'm sure they wanted to. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's so difficult because you can criticize the team like Denmark for. I mean, they didn't do much in the attack ever since like the beginning of second half. You know what I mean? But would you say the same thing if they won on penalties? Would you criticize them? That's the thing, you know. It's so easy to criticize them now. So, but all in all, I think England played well. I think Denmark did well to get there. I don't think it was a great performance. But to be fair, when I came into this game, I knew we were most likely going to take an L. The most important thing for me is just I wanted us to score a goal because nobody has scored a goal on you.
That was a good free kick.
I'm really proud. And you know what the funny thing is, like, this guy is the one who came in to replace our free kick specialist in
Christian Eriksen. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of my team. Like, I'm disappointed in the way we ended. I know we're gonna get on the penalty after, so I hope you come back to me in regards to that, because I know you don't want to speak about it right now. But all in all, I think it was like England, well played. You carved us open. Like, and that's the thing. I think Harry Kane, he does wonders in that 10 position, man. Those like he's not just an out and out number 9, man. He is good playmaking, really good playmaker.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting if he does end up going to Manchester City, because you know, where would you play him?
Yeah. And there is one thing, I've been ridiculed for saying this. I've been absolutely ridiculed by so many fans for saying this. I've been saying this for a while. Saka is the best young player in the Prem, and I think yesterday he proved it. Like, I could not fathom why he took Saka off for Grealish. Like he was your most dangerous player all game, even more dangerous than Sterling, in my opinion. Like, those runs he was making constantly, breaking the defense. What an amazing player, man! Amazing player.
I've said this several times. Like, if Saka was not playing for Arsenal, would have been battling relegation. He literally carried Arsenal last season.
And I also think he is not appreciated enough because he does play for Arsenal. You know what I mean? People say, "Oh, but he's 8th. He's not in Europe." You know what I mean? But that's not on him, man. He does his part. And the thing with Saka is as well, man. He's so fast. And nowadays, like, he's so fast and he's smart as well with his runs. He times them to perfection, man. What a player! And he's not scared to take on players as well. For that age, that's very impressive. But all in all, like, you could see the fatigue in that Danish side, man.
Yeah,
you could see the fatigue, and it was one game too much, in my opinion. But I think we held our head high. We didn't lose to England in 9 minutes, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And to be fair, when you take into regard that this is the golden generation, this new golden generation for England, you know, I think we did ourselves proud, but at the same time, congratulations to England.
Fair enough to Abdul. I think that was after everything that happened yesterday. I think that's very, very succinct summarizing. And so
Red Devil, I was fuming. I was
you.
fuming.
I got you were fuming. I got you, and I understood that you were fuming. I definitely understood that. And like I said, and before I go on to everyone, like I've made it quite perfectly clear that I'm not a sort of England fan in the traditional sense, or the England or any of that. Like the only reason why I was happy is just because of the hate that Southgate and Sterling have just generally been getting. So it's more the fact I support the team because I felt it was a bit unfair that Southgate and Sterling and players that like hadn't even kicked before they kicked the ball were getting so much hate, not only from non-England fans but England fans themselves. So it's always nice to see someone actually prove haters wrong and actually.
Well, the thing is, like everyone criticizing Sterling prior to this game, I don't blame them because you need to remember this guy has been in horrific form coming into this tournament. You can't deny that. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that. The Southgate thing, though, I was kind of like, come on, that's okay. Yes, he didn't play anybody in the World Cup. It's like, okay, fine, but the tournament wasn't started yet, and you're sort of Southgate and all the rest of it. So
yeah, I think people they think that they know the game more than Southgate. The problem is people think that just throwing all their best attacking players wins them the tournament. That's not how it works. You need to be defensively solid, and from there,
Well done. Like I said, there's no performance. I don't think it's a coincidence, that the two teams in the finals have the two best defensive records in the Euros. Italy and England, they have the two best defensive records, So, but Ahmed, speak on it. Speak on the game. General thoughts on the game. Then, like I said, we will touch the penalty decision and kind of VAR on the end. But I just want thoughts on the actual game itself.
I thought it was a very even game in the first 90 minutes. I thought it was a game with periods that where Denmark dominated, periods where England dominated. But as Abdul said before, the changes Denmark's manager made, I don't know why he did them. Was it because of fatigue? Was it because
he said it was fatigue. He said it was fatigue.
Because for me, those subs changed the game. Because I thought they were playing good. They're very explosive, fast players on the counters. But Paulson absolutely destroyed the game, in my opinion, man. Because he's like immobile, can't control the ball. He was only good when the ball came in the air. But other than that, Paulson, he destroyed that attack. And after those changes, Denmark wasn't dangerous enough in the counters, in my opinion. I thought England were very comfortable in that game at the end. And of course, they got a lucky penalty decision. But overall, I think England were the better team in 120 minutes. I think it was a fair result, but I still think it's corrupted, and they cheated their way in to the final.
Fair enough. Abdullahi, man, what were your general thoughts on the game?
Because I didn't watch along for the game, so I watched the game from the first minute to the kind of last minute.
Yeah,
it was a good game, and I was impressed with the way the team plays. Very impressed with him. Yes, I've been critical of Garcia from the onstart, and I feel so relieved that at least he kind of proved most of us wrong, like in terms of the way they played and everything, how they kind of make it to the final. I understand that Abdul's angriness in terms of the way they lose, but I also feel so angry and so mad at the moment because England fans are so psychopath and idiotic moronic people. Because the way they talk, you see as if they know, they are the footballing manager. They know everything in what football. You put this player in, put that player in, put this in. But the manager who actually put this player knows what they want. So, like, I don't understand England fans. I see. Thank God I don't live in England because if I live in England, they're gonna be a World War II. I'm being serious now because I despise those England fans. They're just too arrogant for my liking. I despise them all. They disgust me, all of them. Everybody in that England team, not the players, the fans, they disgust me, all of them. All of them, they disgust me. And I'm praying and hoping they lose on Sunday. So they will be humbled. So because they disgust the hell out of me. All of them. Because I don't understand.
Forza Italia, Abdullahi. Forza Italia.
They disgust they disgust every inch out of my body. I was hoping they lose against them, but I feel for them, man. Yes. Muta, I'm being serious. Those England fans disgust me. They disgust every part of me, everybody. Because the way they talk, you think as if that the football manager know everything in world football. The way they talk, God damn, my God in heaven. I just don't want to talk too much, man. Like, I've been filming since that match finished. Since that match finished, since today, I'm still unhappy. But I just want to keep my cool. Because people are kind of listening to what we're saying. So, like, I just want to keep my temper. I'm just happy I don't live in England. Because if I live in England, it won't go well. I'm being serious, it will not go well. For the footballing world, it will not. I just want to go beyond that. I just want just keep my cool for now.
Cool. Okay. Montara, man, thoughts on the game? Like I said, we're going to come to the penalty and everything like that and VAR later, but just specifically on the game.
Yeah. And actually, I have a question with regards to the penalty thingy, but like I can ask later on, when we discuss penalty thing situation. Yeah. Yes, with regards to this, man, first of all, man, this game was about to come and bite me, karma. Because I always, like, especially in semifinals thingy, like I don't rate underdogs or like small teams, you know what I mean? And for me, Denmark, like, for me, I think so. Overall, their plan was better. Their plan was better in this game than Gareth Southgate, if I'm being very honest, right? So let's talk about the free kick thingy, right? And it was a foul by John Stones, I guess, who fouled it.
No, Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, thank you. Mason Mount, yeah. Mason Mount fouled him. And that free kick, to be honest, that was the first direct free kick goal of this tournament from them guys scored, right? And the one I blame for that goal, the player should be blamed for that goal is Pickford.
Yeah, people say Pickford.
No, it has to be Pickford.
Did you blame Pickford?
Yes. Because look at his positioning. The wall, what he did is that he believed the wall will cover the shooting angle of this second post. You know what I mean? And he was far off. And let's be honest, that ball was like, come on, like the angle, like the way he hit them got hit, right? It was just a routine shot on target, though. It was a routine shot on target, okay? And he should have done much better than what he did, okay? So Pickford is the reason to England to concede the goal. Immediately after that, Raheem Sterling missed a sitter. Remember that? Raheem Sterling missed a sitter. For me, look, man, I don't have to. Raheemo he's not anymore Raheem Sterling. He's like Raheem Genio. You know what I mean?
Raheem Genio.
Yeah, it's Raheem Genio, and he completed 10 dribbles in that game. By the way, highest, I guess, as of in the tournament in one game, I guess, as of now. Easily the best player in the Euros as of now. There's no argument with that. And without him, I can't see England doing a better job without Sterling. Let's be honest. Jack Grealish is good coming off from the bench.
Yeah.
But not to start. In my opinion, over Raheem Sterling on the left flank. Thirdly, I mean, Ahmed touched a very good subject. He said that this game was, in the cycles. There was 20 minutes of cycle of England, then another 20 minutes you can see Denmark there. And pretty much substitution fucked the game plan for Denmark. I don't know that was a kind of recipe for disaster. It was too early. I can understand the fatigue level from the Damsgaard and all this. You brought in Poulsen. By the way, Poulsen is poor man's Drogba, by the way. That guy's poor man's Drogba, man.
Poor man's Drogba.
Yeah, that's the reality, man. And for me,
easy. Respect Drogba, double.
No, I said poor man's Drogba, so you know what I mean. So with regards to this, man, let's be honest with ourselves. I think so. Denmark was more impressive for me than England. Yes, England have more shots on target. They dominated the game in the cycles much higher than Denmark. The recycling of the ball was much more better than the Denmark players. But that's what we expected from England, to be higher quality players. You have better players, and you should have done much better. For me, if I count clear-cut chances, England created more chances. definitely, but they were ass in front of goal. Harry Kane, Mason Mount. Let's be honest. In the first 90 minutes, they were not there. Like I can clearly see now. Okay, Harry Kane. Oh my god! And then he got the penalty thingy. We can discuss penalty later on. What Harry Kane did, my goodness, man. And he was so fortunate to get the rebound. Michael mistimed it. In essence, he could have done much better. I believe he could have just pushed the ball right instead of trying to hold it. But that was a mistake. But still, Harry Kane fortunate, man, and he got the ball in the rebound and finished it. Other than that, Saka was insane as well in the first half. I'll say Saka was doing better job as well than Harry Kane and all these guys. In my opinion, Calvin Phillips, bang average game. Then you have Declan Rice, good. I'll say okay. I think Maguire did a good job in this game with Stones, in my opinion. So good job, Shaw. Like
I know I'm a biased United fan, but I think Maguire's had an amazing tournament.
Exactly.
I think he had a very good tournament, and I think this is what happens when, this is why I think partnerships sometimes can be important. Because if you just look at United, you go, "Oh, Maguire is a bang average. He's not sort of." But in this tournament, alongside a decent defender in Stones, you've seen the best out of him. And I've been proven right by, if you saw Victor Lindelof defend for Sweden, he was a brick. He got bullied, etc. So I'm just.
I understand, and you can clearly see now the glimpses of Maguire. The best of Maguire is coming back, gaining confidence, getting confidence. The problem with defenders is that when they have a really bad run of games, right? So they lose the confidence, and then top of the critiques and all those things in Premier League, how it's toxic atmosphere. Then his personal issue as well. So that all was so much on him that it was very difficult for him to come back. But now, slowly and steadily, you can see, his defensive performances and aerially, Maguire is insane.
Sorry to interrupt you, Matar, but this, I'm sure I'm going to get some quick response to this question. Offensive fullback says, has Harry Kane finally surpassed Lewandowski after his performance against Denmark?
Oh my God! Shut up! Oh
no way!
Please,
surpass me as a player?
No.
I just
trolling.
It's from me. I've got to put it.
You see what I said? When I said England fat disgust the hell out of me. They despise me.
I don't think despise.
It's coming home, mate.
They despise me. They disgust the hell out of me. All of them.
Chill.
It's coming home, mate.
Easy.
Get in there, mate.
Right.
So I love you, man. I love you, bro.
But just round up your point.
I'll just round off. Yeah. I don't understand why he's not playing Sancho. Why this bum is not playing Sancho?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, Sancho is. I think you're spoiled for choices.
No, at least bring him from the bench, though. Okay, fine. Yeah. I understand. Saka has been on better shape right now. Let's be honest. Saka looks more sharp. Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
But Sancho should have deserved at least 30 minutes, 20 minutes of playing time. You can't tell me Sancho, bro. Let's be honest. Sancho was very good whenever he came and played for. No. I mean, he's in this tournament. People might criticize his.
I genuinely think that what happened was the whole Manchester United thing was going on, which was a distraction, and at the end of the day, Saka obviously came in while this whole stuff was being sorted. And obviously, from a loyalty and the player perspective, you just start Saka because Saka was obviously going. You got the momentum, so there's no reason to drop him. Yep. So I think if the Sancho to United thing didn't happen during the Euros, I think Sancho would have probably started more games. So I think that's probably been the problem because his focus wasn't there until now.
I know. Like I can understand. He's not fully committed. Like this guy might be thinking like that. I still don't believe it. Still don't believe it. But he believed that Sancho might not fully committed for certain games in this tournament because of Man United link up and all those thingy rumors, and he pretty much signed for United as well. So for me, look, man, from this game, what does Mount offer? Let's be honest, right? Mount on his given day is very good footballer. Like he creates loads of impact. His runs are good, and even his passes are impressive at times. But let's be honest, for me, this guy doesn't deserve to start over Jack Grealish. as number 10. People might say, okay, wait, Jack Grealish is more of a left winger. No, but Jack Grealish have multiple ability to play on multiple positions, especially number 10 position. Grealish can play better. Look what he did when he came off from Germany, from the bench. I know he came as a left winger. I understand that. But still, Grealish offers more offensively to England than what Mount offers. Let's be honest. So
I agree.
So man, look, man, I'm still not buying Mount hype, man. I mean, okay, he performed better against us, and he was very good in the Champions League final, the through ball and all this thingy. Deserve it. But when there's a room for criticism, you have to criticize. And I think so Mount is being not that good in this tournament for England. I think so he was the weakest player for England in this in this game against Denmark. I think so. He didn't do anything. He was hiding. This is my problem, you know. When you're number 10 and you play number 10 position, you cannot hide, man. You need to come out, drop deep, you know, try to dribble players, try to penetrate, try to break the lines. This is the thing, the responsibility of number 10. And we have criticized time and time again many number 10s in this tournament. So I believe Mount wasn't that good. Lastly, I'll just say this thingy, man. That, again, the problem with England, and my general opinion is that they have to kill the game the way it's like similar to Brazil. It's similar to Brazil, but I believe England have better attacking threat than Brazil, and they struggle a lot, man. Like for me, when you make game cagey for England, right? Let's say that, like you can see now, okay, like they can they'll start showing symptoms, you know. Okay, we don't want to kill the game early, and Denmark did that. Denmark was going under the skin, and this was very bad for England, man. So, in my opinion, I'm not impressed by this win. Not at all impressed. And the final, come on, Italy is the masters of going underneath your skin. They will go inside. They are not going to give you those spaces what Sterling requires, or what like the way Saka plays in the tight spaces. So Saka has to do much better job in tight spaces, bro. And this is Italy we're talking about, the final. So, yeah, man. I mean, I think so. England was slightly deserving team, but very bad performance from England, and I'm not impressed at all.
Fair enough. Wilson, yes, Mr. Wilson. Wilson, England, Denmark. Just general thoughts.
Overall, I didn't watch the first half because I was at work. I saw the second half.
Okay.
But overall, I think if Denmark would have just keep it 1-0 like before, because they scored a goal around the 30-something minute, right?
Yeah.
Like overall, if they would have kept it 1-0, like going into halftime, they would have had so much confidence going into that second half, being up at Wembley, and maybe that would have racked some England nerve because the moment they scored again, the nerve went down again because they tied the game up very quickly too. So overall, Denmark, they overachieved. Like I don't think anybody predicted Denmark to get to the semis before the tournament. Like credit to Denmark, even with the whole Ericsson thing, they got there. Like they lost their first 2 games in the group, and they still somehow got to a semi. So credit to Denmark. So if you're a Danish fan, yes, of course you're upset. You're a fan, like you should be upset that you lost, but you have to see the positive too. You made it to a semi. You went against all the odds. You're the first team to score against England. Like most people predicting that the winner between Germany and England would get to the final. So you the first team to score against them. So be proud. Yes, I know the way y'all lost is good and all, but it's bad and all. But you should be proud being a Denmark fan. Like Abdul said, 5 million people in the country, and England has over 30, 40 million people.
55 million.
55. Yeah, so you should be proud. But as for England, I don't think Mount was that bad, especially coming back from COVID. Like he was coming back from COVID, so I don't think he was that bad in the game. I wouldn't say he was garbage. He was okay. I don't think he was trash. And as for Sterling, I understand the criticize that Sterling gets because let's be real, Red Devil, this guy was so bad at City that Phil Foden took his spot. So I understand why they're criticizing Sterling like that. Even me, I was like, whoa, why is this guy Sterling starting?
Foden didn't take his spot though, did he? Foden didn't really take his spot. It was because in the final he played Sterling.
Yeah, that was weird too. That like overall in the season though, because it was mostly Foden, Mahrez. Foden and Mahrez.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. So I understand why I didn't start it, but as for the whole Gareth Southgate thing, Everybody's criticizing. I'm like, bro, before 2018, right? The last time England got to a semi was in 1990.
Exactly.
So people were saying, oh, they didn't. Yes, the moment they went against a quality team, they lost. Even then, Southgate said this team wasn't built to win the World Cup in 2018. He said this team is built for 2022 and 2026.
You did say that.
Yeah, I remember him saying that even specifically too before the game. So like 31 years, like he finally got to a semi. I never understood the criticizing so Southgate. They say, oh, he plays rubbish football. I'm like, bro, look at the way France won the World Cup. It's not about looking pretty. It's about the result. It's a result business. So who cares how you play as long as you win? England got to their first Euro final ever in their history, and they're still somehow criticizing them. So even if he does lose this, I think he did a great job. I think he did a very good job.
Wilton. The criticism is based upon the quality of Denmark, bro. Let's be honest. And you yourself said 5 million to 55 millions, bro.
No. It's not. But the thing about it, at the end of the day, it's a semi, though. It's always gonna be close. It's always
no. But if you see the moments, right, the England moments, bro. Okay, I understand with Denmark's quality, right? They missed the chance. I can give them excuses. Because people shat on Denmark. Let's be honest, right? People didn't realize that Denmark is this good, right? So throughout the tournament, right? So we like on the hindsight thingy when we're discussing this thing, I believe England have a world-class players or close to world-class players to finish their chances compared to Denmark.
Of course, every team does it. Even France did it against Switzerland. They should have closed the game out, but
but the point is no. The point is right. When you see England, right? Let's be honest. Let's truly honest, right? I think so. England is doing a great job. Let's be honest, because of their back four.
But that's what it comes to, though. Even Italy, you could say the same thing about Italy. That defense been very good.
No. You cannot say the same thing for Italy. You cannot say the same thing for Italy because I've seen Berardi, I've seen Chiesa, I've seen Barella,
but overall,
I've seen Locatelli.
That defense been very good though.
But Italy, but look, you cannot compare England with Italy. Okay, I know it's a final, right? But still, Italy has shown two flecks of football in this tournament, right? Let's be honest. Like until the game against Spain, right? They were a hyper-attacking team. People thought, can they do defensive job? Like people questioned Chiellini's fitness level, Chiellini's pace, and Bonucci thingy as well, right? And even after the injury of the guy, what's his name? Spinazzola.
I think after the Belgium game,
actually, let me just park this concept because we are going to quickly talk about Italy versus England in the final. So we'll continue this conversation about comparing Italy to England, like just in the next segment. So, does anyone just have any last thoughts about the game specifically, and then we'll have a talk about the penalty and VAR and stuff like that. Does it?
Yeah.
Seaman, go on in the game?
Yeah, I was gonna say this, man. I thought Denmark's setup was brilliant. I thought the manager made the right choices when it came to tactical setup, when it came to substitution. Again, I can't judge him that hard, especially, the information that Abdul gave us in terms of them not necessarily having that much rest and him having to make substitutions because his players didn't have energy. Now, what I would say about Denmark's setup, what made it brilliant is the fact that when they were in a defensive shape and even in an offensive shape, they were heavily reliant on a 4-2-2. It almost seemed like they were making those formational changes. And the thing is, once England would break from the center or break particularly from the left, they would have enough players to come back and occupy those spaces. Even when a center back was going through towards a flank, you saw a midfielder drop into the center defensive midfield position or a center back position and almost occupy that space until the defender picks up his position again. So from a positional standpoint, I felt like Denmark had a great game. I thought their defensive setup was brilliant. I thought them being able to, compress their team, especially outside the box and being able to close up the space as much as they can. I thought they were holding up really well. Now, what hurt them the most was the right-hand side. I felt like the right-hand side was being exposed way too much. Majority of if you look carefully, the two goals that they've conceded, it came from the right-hand side. They kept doing that, even to the point where Gareth Southgate, as much as we don't praise him for his tactical ability, when he was talking to Mason Mount, he was telling him to hit the right-hand side. He was telling him that's where you're going to create the most chances. because as soon as you saw that, you saw Mason Mount almost drift towards the right hand side and get chances to put on those passes and get more space compared to him trying to go centrally. Now, I think what separates Mason Mount and how he works in a Gareth Southgate system is the fact that Mason Mount can actually hustle back for you. That's one thing that's important to Gareth Southgate's system. He wants who's ever going to be playing the number 10 have enough energy to cover space where it's the difference in space between their CDMs and their center attacking mid. That's where Mason Mount. That's why he prefers Mason Mount. That's not to say that Jack Grealish is a better. Jack Grealish is not a better player. Of course, Jack Grealish has more creativity and he might be more of a technical player. But it's about what Gareth Southgate prefers in terms of system, and that's where you have to give them credit. Now, in terms of Denmark, from an offensive standpoint, I feel like Denmark were creating, exceptional chances. I thought their game plan was perfect. Their game plan was to go through the flank, which you saw majority of the time, that England weren't necessarily handling that well, and stretch their back four in order to create those spaces. The only thing they lacked was quality up front. I don't think they necessarily have quality in terms of making that final pass or making those finishing moments. So for me, in terms of Denmark, they had the right plan. But again, what I found impressive about England is the fact that everyone knows their role, and the fact that everyone there seems to be more of a unity behind that. And that's something that nobody gives them. And that's the problem with modern day football. We only look at it, from a tactical standpoint. We say, why didn't he do that tactic? Why didn't he do that tactic? It's more nuanced than that. It's about how he can galvanize the whole team to play with each other, which is something England have been missing for the large part. Even their even what's perceived as their former golden age, they weren't as united as this team is. And the fact that Gareth Southgate has been doing this since the beginning, the fact that he was coming out and saying stuff like, I back Pickford's my number one choice, when he was under pressure to choose another goalkeeper, has paid off, because he's given the confidence for Pickford. Even though Pickford does make mistakes, he definitely did make a lot of mistakes when it came to Denmark. I thought for a moment his distribution was off. This wasn't his best performance when it came to a distribution standpoint and a goalie standpoint. I do think this team resembles more so club football in terms of these guys are the closest thing to a Chelsea. Very pragmatic, waiting for the moment. The only thing is they have offensive play, and I don't necessarily think they're as defensively disciplined as Chelsea, but that's because Chelsea had so many amount of time spending with each other in order for them to really gel in from a defensive performance. Now, again, I give credit to him, but at the same time, what seems to be the criticism of Gareth Southgate seems to be that this guy, you see, he has. I would say this is the best England side, hands down. Now you could argue that there's been more talented midfielders, there's been more talented defenders, there's been more talented attack, but they haven't had a group of core of players, a squad that's this talented in terms of just having that, having those positions and having the ability to bring in players. And
actually, I disagree with Z, man. I disagree. But you were there.
I don't necessarily think they've ever had a squad.
I disagree, but
like
let's move.
I also want to say that again, credit to your boy the Gate. He showed up. People were mocking him, and Raheem Sterling again. Raheem Sterling does deserve some fair amount of credit. He did have a poor performances, and he deserves to be criticized.
But does deserve? Bro, he deserves everything, man.
No, exactly. Yeah. But again. It's the whole thing of when he came into this, everyone was against him, and he's really shown everyone that he should be a starter for England and why he should start and how much impact he does bring into this team. So for me, you know what? Kudos to England for making it to the final, and this is a great chance for them to win it.
Right. We're getting before we move on to just the end the segment with Italy England a preview. We obviously have to talk about the VAR and the penalty incident. So what I will say, because I've not really said a lot about it, but I'll try and be as emotionless, let's put it this way, and trying to be as objective as I can, whilst at the same time acknowledging the results about the whole thing and VAR and stuff like that. Because VAR obviously has always been a sort of talking point for quite some time, and people say, is it ruining football? Is it what's going on? I think the first thing to obviously establish, and I always have to repeat this when we talk about VAR, is that VAR itself is not technology. VAR stands for video assistant referee. So there is another human being that's in Stockley Park or whatever it is that is actually reviewing the instance. That's, I think, something that's very important, because I think a lot of people, when they talk about it, it's like, but check, the VAR isn't working. It's like, VAR is an actual human being referee. It's not like a technologically sort of person. It's just another human being looking at a monitor and making their own decision. So that's important, because what it means is that, like, you have when you introduce another person into a situation, you're giving in another decision, which might lead to more bias, which might lead to another more subjective decision. So that's, I think, very important to put that out there. The second thing, obviously, in regards to the penalty situation and onto VAR, is that one of the things that, first of all, I don't think it was a penalty. I think there was some slight contact, but I don't think it was a penalty, because in my mind, if a penalty, regarding contact, it should be how much the referee should deem how much contact should be willing for the person to, like, fall over. And for me, that didn't look like there was enough contact. However, unfortunately, in the modern game, and in quite a lot of games, this seems to be left open to the interpretation of the referee. The problem with that is, obviously, when it comes to VAR, is that if the referee makes a on-field decision and says, right, I believe this is a penalty, the person in Stockley Park or wherever the nation is that's checking it, unless they deem the decision to be clear and like an obvious error, i.e., there was no contact, for example, they will obviously not overturn the on-field decision, and that doesn't mean that the referee has to go to us because they've made a positive decision. Really, the only time the VAR officials tend to get the referees to look at the monitor is if the on-field officials actually missed something, so a handball or a foul or something like that, something that they haven't seen. That's when the VAR official will say, hang on a minute, I've spotted something, maybe you should have a look at it as well. The on-field guy says, I didn't see it, and then goes to pitch side monitor to see. But it doesn't really happen with positive decisions, i.e., the referee has seen it and has given a decision, if that makes any sense. So that's really the whole thing of penalty and VAR from
Can I ask you a question? Actually,
yes,
actually, this is a very good question because for the panel.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with this thingy, right? Where the fouls interpretation, or let's say the law with regarding foul, right? The letter of law. If you don't get the ball, slightest of contact inside of box or outside of box, right? There's a foul. So do you agree with this notion in the first place? Because for me...
So explain that again, Mantar. So
I'll elaborate it. Like, it's like, so there are two kind of thingies, right? Mostly when it comes to referees, and their interpretations. What they seems is like when you foul a player, right?
Yeah.
Even the slightest of contact inside the box or outside of the box.
Yeah.
Is a similar thingy for you, or you are that kind of person where you believe that there should be more concrete foul or contact in order to give penalty? Because what happened is that we have double standards over here now, and the double standards is the foul outside of box, regardless it's a soft foul or it's a tactical foul. But when it comes to the penalty box, right, those kind of fouls has not been given. And given. So my issue is there's no consistency.
Yeah.
If you see, right? So soft foul inside the box, some referees they give it, some referees they don't give it. And when you leave the room for interpretation, right, inside the box, especially inside the box, it's a big issue now. So should we go by the letter of law? If you touch even the slightest of contact with any defender or player, like with the player or with the attacker, and the player goes down, that's a penalty. So do you agree with that?
I think that's where we already are, and you can't really, you know. I think the first thing is you have to go back and see like what actually is the purpose of VAR in the first place, because when
forget about VAR. No, but undisputed. Sorry, I mean Red Devil. That's not my point. My point is VAR is there just like, okay, I understand with the implementation issue.
The reason why I mention this is because it's become an issue because of VAR. Because you can now look at a video, because you can now be like, oh, right, okay, we can actually sort of check things. Because if you took VAR out of the equation, we wouldn't even be having the, like, if you have no VAR,
if you have no, I just like sorry, I mean Red Devil, you need to understand, even before prior to the VAR implementation, right?
Yeah.
We have seen in many big games players, if they get like soft foul, that's considered as a foul and penalty is being awarded, right?
Yeah.
So for my question is,
can I answer your question? Can I answer your question?
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead.
I spoke about this yesterday, and I think it's actually this is ruining the game, because this is a contact sport, and what is happening is, I believe, in the box now, it's become no contact sport, because if you touch someone and you don't give the ball and he goes down, it's a 9 out of 10 times penalty. And I think it's ruining the game, because I feel like it's not created for this. Because I understand the rules. But what players have now learned is there's an exploit to these rules, because you can dive down and make it look worse than it actually is. You know what I mean? So any small touch, they exaggerate. You know what I mean? And I just don't think they're doing enough to stop it, because when they start,
simple question.
Let me just finish and then you speak.
Go ahead.
The problem is, when you give one, then you have to give another. And the problem is, just like in law, in law, when you're going to, if you're being sued or someone have committed a crime or something, and you're in the court of law, many times this act has happened before.
They're referring to old cases. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So if it's happened before and it's been given before, they're gonna give it again. So that's the thing. Either they do it every time or they stop doing it at all. And because we've seen this happen so many times, the referees nowadays, that's how they view the game. Because if you don't give it for very little contact, then why did they give it all last season? You know what I mean? So for me, it's just horrible, because when you have a fast player like Raheem Sterling or Bukayo Saka running in through defenders, a block of defenders, every time he gets touched, he's going to go down and it's going to look like a given penalty.
Abdul, I agree with you. One second, Abdullah. I agree with you. I agree with you what you just said. But my thing is, I've seen many times soft free kick has been given outside of the box. Similar kind of fouls. Yeah. Right? Similar. So I don't agree with you, the notion where contact sport has been only like let's say like less contact sports or no contact is only inside the box. I still believe that it's even outside of the box they are promoting. So it's so when they do that, right? So slightest of touch, even outside of the box, I've seen free kicks. I've seen.
I understand, but I think more so it's in the box, because yesterday there was also some situations where there was a little budge and it wasn't given.
No, but actually, it's totally opposite. When I see that, right, soft foul has been given less time foul inside the box than the soft foul given outside.
I think that's just because it happens more. That's why there's more fouls outside the box.
Exactly. Now you hit the nail. So that's my thingy. So there is no consistency over here now. You know what I mean? Because we tend to see soft foul more outside of the box because it's okay. It's not that big deal. You know what I mean?
I think what Montar's trying to say is that we, as you rightfully says, that we see a lot of it's like you often hear pundits say, I'll give the foul outside the box, but in the box, it's like that's not really a penalty. So I think what I'm trying to say is that
I think there's a good reason for that as well, because the punishment of giving it in the penalty box is much greater than in the middle of the park. You don't want.
But
like-
Abdul, but if you go by the letter of law, says that foul is foul.
It's
That's
like-
my problem.
But football isn't played by the letter of the law.
No, it
No,
has to
no.
be played with the letter
guys,
of law.
turn it away from like outfield players for a second. So I'll use a better example would be like, let's say goalkeeper, right? So like Neuer and a few other examples where like outside the box, let's say they punch or push a play or whatever, and that's obviously a free kick. But in the box, when the goalkeeper comes to the corner or wants to make a clearance and basically clear heads the forward attacking play and misses the ball, that's never given as a foul, even though the goalkeeper has missed the ball and has knocked. I think that we had a few instances this season where players were just knocked out cold and the goalkeeper missed the ball. But you wouldn't give a
Portugal, France.
You wouldn't give a penalty for that.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
No, not to also mention, as Monta pointed out, it's the inconsistencies behind the rules when it comes to inside and outside the box. But my problem is the rule handbook it's well diverse when it comes to handball, and they've changed it a lot, but they're not willing to change it. Like for example, when Chiellini touched the ball with his hands when it was Spain versus Italy, that wasn't a handball. The referee knew immediately because the rules said if you're dropping down to the ground and you're using your hand in order to get up and it touches and the ball touches your hand, it's not a penalty. But when it comes to physical contact, it seems to be left to interpretation, which creates inconsistency. Because the referee is going to try to manage based on what's the most impactful moment and how much is this going to impact the game. That's the problem right there.
But Zima, my thing is, right, why doesn't we have in our handbook of law the foul
that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. Like there's no
why not soft like it's instructions to the referee should be clear, right?
No, that's exactly the problem, Taha. That's exactly the problem, Taha. There isn't consistency behind the thought.
Zima. But my problem with this inconsistency is that you're leaving the room for interpretation now.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you leave the room for interpretation, and let's say this, why there is no concrete rule with the guys into foul in their box that soft fouls are not considered as a foul inside the box. Simple as that. It makes our life much easier.
But I think the problem is that we obviously, and I'm saying Smeggleson that referees, fundamentally at the end of the day, referees, the VAR and all these are obviously human beings, and so obviously until you get robotic referees that can almost detect the amount of power force that a player uses on an individual, what like one referee will deem, that's what the subjective comes, because what one referee deems as an impactful foul will be very different to what another referee does, and that's where the inconsistency comes in. So there's always going to be a subjective element to football just based on
Red Devil, I understand. Red Devil, subjective element, of course, it's going to be, right? With regards to different refereeing, right? But if you see that foul outside of the box, no one would argue about that. Let's be honest. If it's outside of the box, nobody would have given a shit unless right some.
Oh yeah, the fans. I agree. The fans, people want to give a shit. But what I'm saying is that on a different day, another more like you've seen what's his name? Who's the Don? What's his name? That Italian Don, legend referee.
Daniele Sapi.
I think is it? Yeah, bold guy.
Yeah. No. Wait.
Is it Laos or Daniele Sapi?
No.
Luigi.
No. In 90s and 2000s, he's talking about.
Yeah, Gianluigi. Yeah. I think it's Luigi or something like that. Go referee. He wouldn't have given any of that. He would have been like, just get up, like allow, like he was a Don referee.
For me, honestly, if I'm being very objective, right, I wanted England to win, but if I see that incident, from my like at the normal frame, no more slow motion and all, that's not a foul. But again, I'm just saying this thingy, right? So there is no consistency, and when you leave room for the interpretations, this is what you get. In my honest opinion, please give us some concrete rule on the foul, on the handballs, on the offsides, because this is the biggest issue in this tournament. You can see in this tournament clearly handballs and and the fouls has been the biggest issue. You can see with the goalkeeper thingy, right, against Portugal, right, that the Portugal got the penalty against France, right? Remember, if you see from the other side of the angle, actually, Lloris got the ball. He touched the ball first. But the thing is, he's coming with such a force that he bashed with the, I can't remember, Danilo Pereira, I think it was. So yeah, he bashed with Danilo Pereira. But there's no chance. There's no options. He have to go for the ball and he have to smash the players. And we have seen a ton of times. So for me, honestly, that's not a foul. But let's be honest.
I can make it. The only other counter argument I'll make, again, do want to sort of give a bit of defense to the refs, just because as someone who's done a bit of refereeing, it is a very difficult job and they get a lot of abuse, sometimes wrongfully so. That sometimes some of this additional pressure can come from the clubs and managers because of the got to protect players, got to make sure players constantly getting fouled, etc. Sometimes there is external pressure from clubs, teams, etc.
Actually, the external pressure was from the fans, though. In
Sorry?
my opinion, I believe external pressure was actually from fans. Let's be honest.
In this context, yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, just in terms of when we're talking about refereeing, in terms of like constantly blowing for soft touch sorts of things, to put essentially what I'm saying is, like, if let's say referees just didn't, then what then happens is that the level of powerful contact, as it were, goes up, and then before you know it, certain players get injured, or certain players are being targeted, or they're getting fouled, and then you're getting managers and clubs and teams saying, "Why isn't the referee protecting our player? Why aren't you blowing for more fouls, etc." So, to give sort of the other side, sometimes the referee can be damned if you do and damned if you don't when it comes to actually giving away fouls and protecting players.
But to be honest, Red Devil,
I'm just giving you other perspective. That's
100%. 100%. I get that. Like in club football, it happens many times. Managers and players complains after the game. I understand the point. One more thing with regards to this game. You know what? What we expected as a fans. I know, man. I wanted England to win. I'm saying again and again, I want England to win this game. But VAR should come and have rescued and pretty much chopped off the penalty. This is the job of VAR. Let's be honest, right? Because it's a minimal contact, man. Minimal. Let's be honest. And we know Sterling has been known as for diving.
But the thing is, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, that's what I think people don't understand about VAR, is that, like, the job of VAR was not to change the on-field referee's decision. The only way that the on-field referee the VAR official that's checking in Stockley would have changed it is if there was zero contact.
I speak on this, bro? Can I speak on this?
Yeah, go on, Abdul.
Yeah, I completely agree with the fact that I'm not blaming Sterling because it's a part of the game. I'm not really blaming the ref on the field because I've told people, like, Sterling, he should not worry about retiring early from football because he's going to have a great acting career. You know what I mean? The way he threw himself. So I don't even blame, like, the ref, because I thought it was a penalty as well on first sight. But I blame the rules about the whole, it has to be an obvious and a clear and obvious error for him to send him to the monitor. Like, it would take 20 seconds to send that ref to the monitor. And what I don't understand is, like, do they not know that this is an international semi-final in extra time? Like, there is players in that team. Kasper Schmeichel, he's never going to play another as big a game as this in his career again. He's 35. There are players that are never going to play such a big occasion in their life again. And you're telling me you can't afford to send the referee for 20 seconds to look at the challenge? Like, what is the stupidity? What is it? Like, I feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot by creating these stupid, like, rules. Like, I understand, you gotta, when you analyze something, you gotta understand what's the reasoning, what's the thought behind it. The thought behind the whole clear and obvious error mistake for them to send the referee is to make the game more free flowing. They don't want
exactly.
More free flowing. They don't want constant stop.
And to be fair, and sorry to interrupt you, and to be fair, going to defensive, let's be real. One of the complaints, I still remember when VAR was implemented. I remember the complaint that so many fans and media partners said is, it's taking too long, it's too slow. They're interrupting the flow of the game. They're taking away the excitement. Blah 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 blah. So so this is what I'm saying. So some of what we're complaining about, let's be real, is reacting to the complaints that people had originally.
I understand that, but it's the occasion.
One thing we think about, because I remember when this happened, I remember saying a lot of the time, I remember saying at the start when people were complaining about how long it was, I said, bro, I don't care how long it is, as long as they get to the right decision.
Exactly.
A lot of people didn't have that, so but anyway, I'm just saying that sometimes these things, when you look back, go on, because I'm speaking too much. Go on, guys speak.
Yeah, I was just gonna finish my point.
Finish your point, and then was it Abdullah? Were you saying?
Yeah.
So go on, Abdul. Finish your point, man. Sorry.
My point was that for the occasion, and if it was 3-0, I would understand. Like, it wouldn't matter. But this is a decisive penalty in one of the biggest games that the players on the pitch are ever going to play in their lives. And you're telling me you can't send him over. Like, what are you going to lose by sending him over? Like, play the occasion. Don't play the thing is, there are some refs, which I respect. They take the occasion in mind. So when there is a big game against like two rivals, they let a little more. They're a little more lenient when it comes to tackles because they want to keep up the flow of the game. You know what I mean? This occasional sense, like, it's such a decisive moment. What are you going to lose by sending him over? Send him over, you thick twat, man. It pisses me off because if he was sent over, 90% sure that he would have changed it because there were nowhere near enough contact. You know what I mean? But it's down to interpretation at the end of the day because he didn't see it as clear and obvious. But what is clear and obvious? Because you're saying if there's no contact, but what if there's very little? Because, bro, the rules aren't that as soon as the player is touched, he goes down as a penalty. That's not the rules.
No, of course.
So why would a clear and obvious mistake have to be that he's not touched whatsoever? Like, there was no one near enough, man. Send him over. What are you gonna lose? What are you gonna lose? But it is what it is, man. I'm still so proud of my country, man. And look, this people say this is the new golden English generation, and the new golden English generation, they couldn't beat us in 90 minutes. You know what I mean? And they had to rely on a dubious penalty to win. And we were 10 men at the end of the game because we had used all our subs, and one of our
Abdul, but you're contradicting yourself now because now you're saying dubious penalty, and before you said you agree with it. So
no, I don't agree with the penalty.
Oh, I didn't agree. I don't.
Okay, you don't agree. Okay, fine.
Fine. No. Yeah. I never said I don't agree, but I don't blame Sterling.
I must confess, I do think that even if the penalty didn't happen, I do think that England probably still would have gone and won it in extra time.
I disagree. 100%.
And
I disagree.
Oh, go on. Abdullah hasn't spoken.
Kasper is 100% the better stopper than Pickford. I can guarantee you in that penalty.
I'm not talking about.
Harry Kane will lose the penalty. Most 2 or 3 players will lose the penalty, even if it goes to extra time, because they don't look confident in taking that penalty. I can put my money on Kasper Schmeichel saving 3 or 4 penalties.
I'm not talking about the penalty shoot. I'm talking about the fact that, like, it was obvious for some time that the Danish players were very, very tired.
But Red, you need to remember it was like the end of the first half of extra time, so it was 15 minutes left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I know. But I'm just saying, like,
it's not like there was 60 minutes left in the whole game.
Oh, I know. But I mean, when because obviously, bear in mind, Southgate still had, I think, was it 3 or 4 substitutions to make, the likes of Sancho, Rashford, Foden obviously sort of came on, etc. So I'm not saying that it's 100%, but I am saying that, like, you've now got a tired leggy Denmark, possibly now reduced to 10 men, and now you have to deal with Sancho, Foden, possibly Rashford going out to win the game.
But that's the thing, Red, because I've seen a lot of people around saying, "But England deserve to win."
No. I'm not.
Red. I'm just saying, not you. Like, in general, I've seen a lot of people say, "But England deserve to win," and they post the stats of the game. That's not how football works.
No, you can't. You know what I mean? You can't say it's England deserve.
Abdul, but you, I mean, you yourself is one of the biggest admirer of a stat called XG, right? And if you see XG, England have better XG than Denmark.
100%. But brother,
So what's your thought on that then?
France,
You don't rate XG?
no. But France had better XG than Switzerland.
No, but no. France was better team though. France was better.
Yeah. France were a better team, but they didn't win.
The reason I disagree with the France situation is that like France should have seen off that game. Yep. It was unprofessional and wrong that you.
I know, but he's talking about XG here. XG.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. I do use XG.
2 goals and something.
Yeah.
I don't like to use XG, by the way.
You're right. I respect XG and I give it importance when I'm analyzing a game. But football isn't won on who deserved to win. So you can't use "we deserve to win" as an argument as to why the result should have ended as it is.
No.
Let me speak.
But
so guys, let's let Abdullah just have a say. So then we just quickly need to move on to just the final.
When you bring the offensive fullback comment out, England should be the most hated football team in the planet right now. England is not the most hated team in football right now. Their fans are the most hated, psychopath, idiot, moronic bastard.
No, I disagree with that.
Let me speak, Muta.
That's not true.
Because all of them are kind of they have been getting on my nerves for a very long time. A lot. Because they will shout it's coming.
Keep it. What I'll say is keep it PG. Don't like go on a rant on just play it towards because I do need to keep this channel monetized, man. So just please just be constructive. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll be constructive.
Okay, yeah. So because I will get a YouTube strike or something for discrimination.
Yeah. Because of my guy, I'll be very constructive. Yeah. But I won't lie to you. I look at the penalty over and over again. We need to understand the definition of clear and obvious error. Because I've watched the incident again. I do not think it's a penalty. Because I don't know. I live in America. Yeah, I watch ESPN. Mark Clattenburg was filming. That guy was literally it was like, can I go to that pitch and give the referee a dead slap? That is how he's filming. Because it was literally saying it. That isn't a penalty. Why didn't the VAR tell the referee to go check the monitor? Because he said, I heard it clearly. That is a dubious foul to call as a referee. A professional referee calling that in a semi-final match, a big match in the Wembley Stadium where every fan is looking at this, that he should have gone to the monitor and check it himself and decide, am I wrong in giving a penalty or am I right? If you are wrong, you can cancel the penalty. Clear and obvious have to be like, okay, it's clear and obvious for making a mistake. But the monitor is there to check if this is right or wrong. If it is wrong, you will know. If it is right, you will know. You can, as an on-field referee, you have every chance to say, okay, this is a wrong decision I've made. I have to make sure, okay, this is a wrong decision. I'm sorry. It's not a penalty. Let's move on. I think the occasion getting to the referee a lot. That was
Abdullah. If that foul would have attempted outside of the box, would you have given the foul?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you believe that that's not even a foul outside of the box?
It's not even a foul at all. Because for me, that is even a penalty. Because I've watched it today again. Even Clattenburg said it. There was not. He said Raheem Sterling should have been given a yellow card for diving, not even a penalty. Because that is not a penalty at all. At all. Watching it.
Look, at all is stretch over here.
No. You can listen to what Clattenburg said. Clattenburg said it himself. He said, I am a referee. I've been in this occasion before.
No, but Abdullah, at all means like there's no contact.
There's no contact. No contact at all. No. I have watched it again. Over and over.
It's like
it was Sterling that kicked the player, not even the player that kicked Sterling. It was not the penalty.
No. You know what? The second defender actually he caught Raheem Sterling's calf. Remember that?
It wasn't. I've watched it like yesterday night and to this morning again, just to analyze.
I agree with you. That's not a foul. No. I'm saying I agree with you. That's not a foul. But I'm just playing devil's advocate over here in defense of referee, because if you see in the normal time, right, it looks foul.
Yeah, for the first time it looked foul.
Time it looks foul. Yeah. You know where it doesn't look foul? When you go for slow-mo and VAR, then it looks no. It's not a foul. You know what? VAR should intervene and chop off the penalty.
Exactly.
That was the fucking criticism towards VAR.
Even as a guy come out and say that the job of the VAR is to. It's that people should forget about clear and obvious. Their job is to intervene if a referee make mistake. He said it. there was a VR coordinator in the being spot when they were showing the ball. He said the man said it, and he said because they asked him what is clear. He said clear and obvious has to be a clear mistake the referee made for a VR to intervene.
Yeah,
And he
so
said
that's why
that
so
was clear. He said it. Even the referee said it in the being spot. That
And
was
so,
clear and
Abdullah,
obvious error.
that's why the majority of like generally speaking, from what I've seen with VAR and interventions, the majority of VAR interventions from the official to overchange an on-field decision or to get the referee to check have often been when the referee hasn't seen something, not when they've seen something. When it's so the referee has said, "Let's wait, play on," and then the VAR says you need to check out for handball.
I agree.
Red Devil, do you think that's because they're trying to save face?
Hold on. I agree. But if that is a penalty, the job of the VR is to tell the referee.
No, but
it's a penalty, but we're not sure. Come check yourself.
But that's what I'm trying to say, Abdullahi, is that like the on-field referee made a decision. Let's call it a positive decision. Very rarely do you see a VAR like this has been the issue in the Premier League and in most leagues that are very. Maybe it's because it could be a buddy situation, like they know the referee, they're good friends or whatever. My point is, very rarely do you see a on-site referee, i.e. the VAR guy, overturning something. Most often when that happens, it's because the on-field referee hasn't seen something. So there's contact in the box. The referee.
Red Devil, you know what? Red Devil.
Okay. So one at a time. So first, Abdul, and then
I have watched the Syria very well. When the referee make a decision and take that's a penalty, the VR call the referee, but can tell the referee, yes, it's a penalty, but we're not sure. Come check, and the referee will go back and check it. It will cancel the penalty immediately. It's not a penalty. Let's play on. That is clear and obvious error.
But yeah, Abdul, go on. So we're gonna have to move this. So I want to speak this for hours. Go on.
Yeah, no. The first thing is, I think the whole clear and obvious mistake is stupid, because if it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Why give something when it's a mistake? Like, does it have to be clear and obvious? Like, especially on such a big occasion. But the second of all, I think they were influenced by the fans, man. I think they were influenced by the fans.
Red Devil,
I don't know about the VAR official. The VAR shouldn't, because the guy in Stockley is away from the stadium, so
he doesn't want to make him look bad. He doesn't want to make him look bad.
Before we move on, right? I don't think it was a penalty, but as for the situation, it happened in the Copa America against Peru, right? Neymar dived against the Peru defender. The referee gave the penalty, but the VAR called him and told him go check the screen, and he went and go check the screen, and he didn't give the pen away. So the ref could have went and checked the pen, but it's a mistake. It is. I don't blame Sterling for diving. I would have dived too, because at the end of the day, it's for your country. So you do what you got to do to win. Everybody did it. But my only thing for England, because England, they're already the most hated, like, by other fan base. England is already the most hated fan base in the world. So this game even made people even gonna hate on England even more.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, can I ask a question? Can I ask an entire question? What did you think of the penalty, and what did you think of the laser using? Like, two questions in one.
Laser technology, you mean?
No, the laser being used in the case of Schmeichel.
There was a laser on Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah.
That, and what did you think? Do you think it was a penalty?
Look. In my first thing, I think so. You should not use any external devices in order to interrupt or disturb the players. So I agree with you. That should not be the case. I agree.
Yeah. What about a penalty? Do you think it was a penalty?
Like the Raheem Sterling incident, right?
Yeah.
Look, man, I have to be very objective over here. And look, man, regardless of your country, I believe it's like inferior side. But when I see that specific incident from a referee angle, that's bad. But job of VAR is to rectify the errors, right?
Yeah,
rectify the mistakes.
Yeah.
And you didn't win it simply for that. So I believe, in my objective opinion, I don't think so. That's a penalty.
Munta, do you know what this is going to cost on Sunday?
That's not a penalty.
You don't know the funny part. How lights will be on Raheem Sterling on Sunday?
No, for me,
because of what happened yesterday.
You know what? I am a very big fan of Catenaccio style of football. Okay, and when I see in Catenaccio style of football, defending, when you do that kind of defending, that's like there should be some tolerance. Some tolerance should be awarded to defenders because defenders are the worst victim of this kind of approach in football. That's why that's my always an argument. Modern football defending is the most difficult defending,
exactly.
compared to the back in 90s or even in early 2000s. So what we are witnessing, in the last decade, throughout the decade, and even in this decade, defending is very difficult, and there is no liberty given to defenders. Not at all.
Montaha, do you know who I wish refereed this today? You won't believe it.
Sorry.
Lahoz. I wish he refereed this
Oh
today.
my! I love that man.
To be honest, if Lahoz would have saw that, I don't think he would have given penalty. He would never give a penalty.
He would never, ever give that.
And this is my thing, right? And I want to talk about this subject. I'll just finish up quickly because I know I'm consuming time.
Go on.
You know why referees are not going to the screen to revisit and to just look at what happened? It's on ego. This is ego. It's ego, actually. People don't understand that. This is referee as a community, football community. They believe that we are the final authority of the game ultimately. Yes, VAR is there, this and that. And this is ego clash with the VAR setup. They don't want to actually use VAR. And sometimes referee ego plays a big role in these kind of games. And this was very small detail. I know it's a big occasion, but
I remember this referee. I remember he's a poor referee. He's a very
it's very interesting. Yeah, I remember that penalty in PSG versus Leipzig.
And also the Ronaldo goes.
There wasn't any contact there. They would have. Yeah. Now I'm middle of that because United anyway. But sorry, go on.
Yeah. So this is ego. This is the problem of ego of refereeing. Referees. I mean, they believe that they are the main authorities. Authoritarian. And that's why I believe, he was so poor. But to be honest, he did a big mistake in his life. I mean, sorry, he needs to take this shit. And with regards to Sterling, man, like I'll just say it again, man. Sterling, man, look, man, you were so good throughout the competition, bro. Like I don't acknowledge that kind of, pussy tactics of like dropping, like diving and all those thingy. Honestly, I don't admire that kind of approach. So yeah, so I will not acknowledge what Sterling did in my opinion. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, we've got to move on. It's our final topic. Sorry. Obviously, Italy versus England in the final. Where's the? Oh, there it is. Yeah, match review. That's a match preview. England versus Italy match preview. It's going to be big. Obviously, let's put aside the what happened in the Denmark game and just focus.
Red Devil. Can I just one absolute quick thing?
Yeah.
I think we should be very grateful for the tolerance of the Danish players, because had it been in Denmark with Danish fans pointing lasers to obstruct the goalkeeper Pickford, I think England would have demanded a rematch and replay, and he would have stopped on the spot. But Denmark and the Danish players, they carried on even throughout. Because did you see the referee? He went out and he spoke to the referee and the UEFA delegate. That's what he was saying. But the Danish people, they played through it, and I think they deserve a lot of respect, because some teams they would have stopped and just walked.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. So, and like I said, I have no love lost with English fans themselves. So, but for Gareth Southgate specifically, obviously, I'm happy for the guy. So, but yeah. Not the best circumstances, but we're here with England versus Italy in the final, and obviously two big teams. First, before I go into it, can I confirm, is Chiesa injured or not?
He's not injured. I think he's not
injured. He's gonna play. Okay, because it looked like he came off with a hamstring injury in the Spain game, but he's gonna play. And Spinazzola's still out, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, he's out for 5 months, by the way.
Okay. 5 months?
Yeah 5 months. On Achilles.
It was Achilles. Okay, that's bad. Okay. So aside from that, I don't think there's any other players that are injured or suspended or what have you. So let's just get straight into it, to be honest. How do people shout to Rich Sports in the Shout? Please head over to the channel and subscribe. Bilton, how do you see this game going?
Oh God. This game is set up perfectly for the Italians, bro. Italians have this notion. They love ruining the party for. They're party poopers, man. They love ruining the parties. And what a better way to beat England at Wembley at their own stadium. And I'm sure the last 4 meetings, I was looking at a stat that Italy have won all the last 4 meetings. Euro 2012, obviously, group stage World Cup, group stage Euro, they beat England. So the pressure is gonna be on England because they're home. You with your fans, it's good and bad that England's home because let's say Italy score first, the nerves gonna be racked up because you're home. You know you can't lose in front of your fans like that. But as for Italy, right? I don't think they have that much pressure on them compared to England because Italy's just like, okay, these guys are saying it's coming home, it's coming home. They just go ruin it for them because a lot of people were doubting us. A lot of people were doubting us going into this tournament. People thought we'd have lost in the quarter to semi. So now we're there. Let's go in and win it. We beat Belgium, one of the favorites to win it. We beat Spain. Yes, people don't rate Spain, but we beat Spain, a team that destroyed us in Euro 2012. We beat them too. So why not and go win it? Like this is England's first time ever being in the final. So why not beat them at home and ruin it and just and just win it? Because the way I'm seeing it's not gonna. I don't think this is gonna be a high scoring game because both teams defensively are very good. So, oh god, I really want Italy to win just to see how the England fans would react if that happened. Are they gonna say Southgate out, Southgate out,
It'd be
or
dumb if they were to do that? But anyway, go on.
But yeah, man, I think this game's gonna decide in the midfield. I think the midfield's gonna decide who's gonna win this game. Is Verratti's gonna show up? Is Verratti's gonna step up? Or is Lionel Mount, as you guys call him, the future of football, the guy who provided a pass to the Germans then in the Champions League final? Is he gonna step up, or is he even gonna start? But we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm very excited for this game because let's be real. If you Pickford, I don't rate Pickford that much, bro. If you can. Because I know the Italian, they're gonna test him. They're gonna test him because Pickford, to me, he hasn't really been tested that much in this
Thank you,
tournament.
but I've been saying this from the beginning of the tournament. England has not been tested, especially Pickford and the defense. They have not
Because
been tested
if
yet.
Muller was just more clear, because Pickford they make a save against Muller. Muller just missed
Movena
very
was great. He
badly,
should have scored that
very
goal. I
badly.
have
By the way, Muller is the shittest player of this tournament. By the way.
Okay.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I can figure a few others that are worse.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah,
Pavard being one.
if Muller was more clinical, yeah, he was a score. But Pickford, I haven't seen him been tested yet. So, and I know this Italian team is gonna create chances for sure, unless this England defense just because I know they only conceded 1 goal, but it's gonna be a very cagey game, man. But I'm gonna go with my guts, Red Devil Studio, bro. I know you in England. I know you from England. You 2 months. I know you in England, bro. I don't think it's gonna be coming home, bro. I think Italy's gonna win this. I think Mancini's gonna outcoach Gareth Southgate in the final. I'm gonna go 2-1 Italia, bro. 2-1 Italy, man. Forza Italia, man. I'm gonna go 2-1. And I'm predicting Chiesa's gonna have a good game. And Verratti's gonna have a good game. And Donnarumma, I feel like, is gonna make a very clutch save on Harry Kane. That's what I think is gonna happen in this game. I'm gonna go 2-1 Italy to win this game.
Okay, Z-Man, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, it's coming home, baby. It's coming home. It's coming home. I'll say this though. Listen, from as much as they have been the best defensive side in the tournament, without a shadow of a doubt, I do think there's holes in their defense that could be got. I mean, the past couple of opponents that they face has shown that you can't get at this defense. It's not a Chelsea squad or it's not a Chelsea defense where it's really hard to break them down. I do think they could be got. I mean, you look at the game against Belgium, Spain, for Italy, and then you look at the game against Germany and Denmark when they had chances. So in terms of carving them out. So I do think in terms of attack, I would say that England have more than enough attack. My problem is with Italy, it's either Chiesa or bust or Insigne making an incredible shot so far. So for me, in terms of offensive play, I don't think Italy have enough in terms of just creating those chances and having someone that can execute those chances on a consistent basis. in terms of the midfield battle, again, I do think Italy are the better team when it comes to midfield play. I do think Jorginho, Verratti, and Barella are gonna actually have a chance to touch the ball and actually dictate the game. That's where England can lose the middle of the park, and that's something that Gareth Southgate is gonna have to address, considering that they have better technical players in the middle of the park. I also do think that from the Italian setup with a fullbacks being perceived as being more creative, especially in Emerson's side, I can see Raheem Sterling and players attacking that flank just as they did against Denmark. So for me, in terms of just the overall squad, I do see England. I can see England making it through, and I could see them winning this Euros, just with the amount of momentum and how and they have diverse amount of attackers that have actually scored goals and created chances. So all of their attacking options are up to scratch when it comes to just being on form and just having that cutting edge in them. They've already shown it throughout the tournament, more so than Italy. So for me, in terms of who can win this game, I would say it's towards England more so than Italy. So it's coming home, man. It's coming home. Can't wait for the parties. Did he kick himself out?
What a break, man.
Red Devil, when do you become HH?
HH, man.
When you watch too much.
Welcome to Red Devil Studios YouTube.
When you become HH, when you watch HH too much.
Technological break, man.
Red
Technological
Devil. When you watch HH too much, this is what
this is
happens.
the thing, man. It just gets completely just balls, man. So I missed the end of Z-Man's convo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say again. I do think England just have more offensive forces, and I do think the middle of the park is what's gonna dictate it, and they're gonna have to neutralize it. And I feel like England are more used to playing off the ball, compared to Italy, who are going to be on possession just by the merit of them having better players that are more technical in the middle of the park. So for me, this game favors England more so than Italy. I would say England are going to win it 2-1. 2-1 England. It's going to be a close game, though.
Offensive fullback, shouts as question for are it's in England the two best teams at Euro 20? Well, I'd say, to be honest, overall,
yeah, they have to be. If you
they made it to the final.
Yeah, if you're basing it on talent, obviously it's French. But the thing about those two teams, they're actually playing for the team. Because French, there is no sense of unity of the team with the whole Mbappe Giroud thing. Yeah, it would just vibe. It would just vibe between them. Obviously, but the thing about it, we know they can play well because talent-wise, like they're the best team in the world. But when you look at the Italian, look at the way Bonucci were celebrating. Like when Spinazzola made that block against Lukaku. Look how happy they were. They were celebrating over a block. Like they were hugging each other. I was like, bro, this is truly passion. You saw it with England too. Because ever since I started watching football, I've never seen an England team play together. Because when you see the Lampard, Gerrard, and Ferdinand play, it's like they took their I would say the rivalry in club football into the national team.
Yeah.
Into the national team. But this team is actually playing for each other. Like for example, I remember Rijam, he posted something on Twitter and says, somebody said you didn't start this game. He was like, "There's no I in team. Football is a team game, so it doesn't matter as long as we win."
I want to just address this point. People keep on saying England's path was very easy.
No, it wasn't.
When I look at the teams that they played against, you're like, but people said, "Oh, Czech Republic and Croatia are bums. Who did England really play?" But then those teams get obviously Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Croatia put 3 against Spain. Obviously, you got Germany put 4 plus Portugal, and obviously Denmark. And I've said so. Obviously, Italy played Belgium. They played played Spain. 16. They played Austria. Okay, fine. But I don't think you can say that their road has been easy. I think that's a bit. I won't say disrespectful, but I'm just sort of saying that that puts a bit. I think this tournament, for me, what this tournament has shown is that there weren't really any small teams in this tournament. A lot of the in quote small teams actually performed above and beyond how they were supposed to.
I agree.
So there was no even the Italy that we're talking about. Austria gave them a game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there was no.
There's never any easy route to end, and especially when it comes to international tournament, there's never an easy route because the thing about it, you're going against passion. no matter how small the country, they're gonna throw everything at you because they know it's one game. It's 90 minutes.
We Scotland drew against England.
Yeah, like it's
You know
one
what I
game.
mean?
Like
You know,
so much
so
passion goes into those games because it feels like the Champions League when it's 2 legs. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
The quality is gonna show, but in one game, anything can happen. The Switzerland game, Croatia almost beat Spain. Like Spain had to go to extra time against Croatia.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
there's never an easy route.
So who hasn't spoke on England versus Italy?
I haven't spoken.
Abdullah, go on, man.
It is the final I've been waiting to see for a very long time. Like because people may say Italian are kind of not kind of facing. I've never faced a team like England, so I think this is gonna be a test for them going forward. And I think for me, this is a bad matchup for England because people say England as an offensive. I will say it again. Those chances Thomas Muller missed. If Federico Chiesa sees that chances, it's game over for England. You know that. Those chances Timo Werner missed. If Federico Chiesa sees those chances, it's game over. We all know that because England outplayed Germany, but Timo Werner missed 2 chances and Muller missed 1 clear one-on-one chances. If those chances Timo Werner scored that and Thomas Muller, you know it's gonna be 3-0 in the first half already, without even playing the second half. If those chances fall to Lorenzo Insigne or Chiesa, it's bye-bye. The coming is gonna be over even before it gets started. So that's why we have to just analyze it before we say it was an easier part for it. I don't think it was an easier part because they play an opposition team which everybody believe they should beat for me. So this is gonna be a very match I'm looking forward to for Sunday, like a very good match I'm looking forward to. I want to see how Garisagi is gonna oppose the game in terms of the midfielder battles. Maybe it's gonna start Anderson ahead of the Declan Rice, or it's gonna stick with the same back four it's been using. Like I said it before from day one, that England defense has not been tested yet.
Actually, before you go on to that, I'll ask a quick question because to me, I think this will make the big difference. Do you think Gareth Southgate will start Grealish ahead of Man?
I don't think so.
No, he's not. He's not.
No.
Especially not against this midfield.
I don't think it will start. It will start Grealish ahead of Mount.
No.
So for me, I think the problem Gazzetta will have to face is how do I outpossess it, which is going to be difficult to do because when you have Marco Verratti, Jorginho, and Nicola Barella, it's going to be difficult to outpossess Italy. You just have to give them. They have to play more pragmatic. They have to beat Italy on the way Italy plays. That's have to be the same England they're going to play because you have to beat them on their game. You have to be more defensive, resolute, hit them on the counter, and it's game over. In which Italy can do the same to England. Score 1 goal and it is because I want to see if Italy score like 1 or 2 goals because I know Denmark scored first goal against England and England came back to equalize. I want to see that same thing happen also to Italy. If Italy score goals, will England be able to equalize back and come back and score them back? Because when you have Chelina and Benucci into that defense, those 2 of them, they may be old, but they are very, very experienced defender, and they know how to score, how to kind of go against opposition. The advantage in Italy is gonna have is the experience is not there. Maguire has been key for them, and also with John Stones also too, in which I kind of agree with. But my problem with it is I want to see how they're going to react when they face a more team like Italian national team, in which they're gonna come at them. They won't stop running because we could say.
Well, let me just get again another question to final. Do you guys think that Italy will come at England? Do you think they'll be more offensive?
No.
So why not?
I disagree. Okay.
So I'm saying, what's the Montar? Why don't you think that?
Because what I've seen from England, right? England is kind of Chelsea. I don't know. Someone said that, and the biggest issue with England is to break them down. To let's say this, right? If you go at England, they have so much pace on the flank that they can exploit those spaces and kill you. Secondly, this is at home. You know what? For England, for playing defensive at home doesn't look good, man. Doesn't look good. And this team, yes, I mean, I know Southgate loves to play 3 at the back and all those thingy, but I think so. What we have seen against Spain, Italy won't mind to sit back at least in the first half and absorb pressure. And if they do that, I think so. That's the right way to beat England because they're playing at home. They're having advantage. Let's be honest, fans advantage, and you cannot try to outplay England at Wembley with like fans behind them. Don't do that. That's a mistake. And that's what I said to Wilton initially, because Wilton said, "Oh, look at Italy. Italy also have play similar to England, right?" No, that's not true. Italy is two flex team. They know how to defend. They know how to attack. Spain game, they proved that they know how to defend. And let's be honest, the technical midfielders and technicality, what Spain possesses, right, in terms of position breaking down the position, I don't think so England comes close to that.
And I think,
and with the exploit, like with the runs like Sterling makes, man, that's scary, man. And Italians defenders are very slow, especially the center backs, two center backs. Kylian Bonucci, they're very old, right? So I think so the best approach would be mid block, low block kind of thing, and punishing England on counter attack.
Yeah,
that would be a really nice plan for Italy.
And I think England, especially Gaza, has to keep an eye on. I keep saying it, Federico Chiesa. If, like I know, Luke Shaw has been good, but see, if we give one chance to Federico Chiesa, it's bye bye.
Would it be Chiesa or Carl Walker? Remind me what the side is.
No, the Swiss, because
right. Luke Shaw.
Yeah. See, there's something you call positioning and intelligence in football. Some people call it smartness. Federico Chiesa has that in him, that he has positioning and he is very smart. He knows when to move a position out of the team. The two goals he scored in this, the first one was from the right wing against Austria, and the second one from the left wing when he and then Lorenzo Insigne switched wing in the second half. That was when he had the chance to kind of call the ball in. And I noticed something about this Italy team. Like I said, I don't know if they play FIFA. There's something called R2 or finesse. This Italy team are good at it very, very well.
Before next week, but you must remember England had more ball possession against Germany, Ukraine, and Denmark. So they aren't really a counter-attacking team.
No, but it's not having possession.
You can't possess it. They can't possess it with Barella and Jorginho. It's difficult.
No. That's not the point. That's not the point. Even if England have more possession, right, that doesn't mean that they're a very technical team in order to break you down. Because I haven't seen England's goals, against tightest of the way Spain played, against Italy, because Spain has always been a really bad matchup for Italy because they're a very technical side, to break the deep block, right? I personally don't trust, Raheem Sterling to be that efficient in the final third against the deep block opposition. We have seen Sterling struggle against deep block opposition when it comes to finishing, right? So man, like that's how Italy might come there to just first absorb pressure in the first half. And I see it. The onus on breaking down is on England's shoulder now.
I think even though I also agree on, I think Italy are probably going to win. I think the thing is that because of the squad that England have and the fact they do have players that can do that. So we know their starting 11 won't, but you're saying, but you can bring on Sancho, you can bring on Grealish, for example. You can bring on technically, because they are technically gifted players, great, to make an impact. So it's almost like, okay, see what happens, but then you know that you've got depth on the bench to bring on that can potentially make it. Like for me, as much as I love the fact that Sterling and Kane scored against Germany, if you watch the game, it was actually the creativity of Grealish when he came on that actually led to the 2 goals, because beforehand England had chances. They weren't.
No, but Red Devil, you know why I disagree with you there? Because Germany was forced to attack because the first goal they conceded, right, of Raheem Sterling. So
that's what I'm saying. That's when Grealish came on. So we didn't score before Grealish came on, and as soon as Grealish came on, if you see, he actually plays the ball to Sterling, who then passes it to Kane, back to Grealish and Sterling. And I think Kane was something. So my point was just that, from what I've seen from likes of Grealish and Sancho, is that they're obviously not starting, but they have the technical quality to actually create against obviously good defenders when they come on. And so even though I think Italy are probably still favourites, it's just the fact that England have that creativity off the bench.
No, but again, those are wingers. Let's be honest. Those are wingers, right? I understand the creativity of wingers is very well role, but number 10 slash winger. Let's be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
Like he came off on the bench and played left winger role. Okay. So and Sancho, I don't know. Will this guy start Sancho? Let's see. Let's hope for the best, right? But like from a CM point of view, or box to box, like you know what I mean? To hold the ball, to dictate the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like for United, like Paul Scholes' days, you know, like playing from the back and all this thingy, bro. Yeah, Pogba situation as well. I can say that, right? So they don't have that, bro. England doesn't have that. They are very rigid from central midfield position. So for me, man, look, man, this is very bad match, man. And I said before the game between Italy and Spain, I said England will love to play against Spain, bro. They would love to play against Spain, bro. And that's the perfect matchup for England to beat Spain, bro. Because the two centre backs were ass. Let's be honest. Laporte was ass. And Pau Torres and Eric Garcia, they conceded a ton of goals, okay, in this tournament. The centre back. And the England counter-attacking thingy against Spain, and the amount of space Spain gives, right, once you beat their press. Boom. I mean, but with Italy, it's totally different now because this team knows how to make the game cagey, bro. That's my thing here.
They can be dirty sometimes. They're not
no, it's not being dirty. They're a very tactically astute team. Yeah, I mean, Italy tactically is the most like the players. They know what they want to do, right, and they're doing right. It's not like Germany. Germany. I mean, let's be honest. Germany, I give props to England to beat Germany, but that German team is not tactically as astute as this Italian side. Let's be honest, right? And this team has been drilled and grilled in order to stop the flipping. Let's say what they did against Spain was immense, man. I've seen Spain trying to reach to the dangerous areas, right, in the final third, bro. Chiellini, Bonucci, you have Jorginho. They are covering those spaces. They're not giving them time on the ball, in those spaces. And for England, when Harry Kane, right, he loves to drop deep. It's better for them. It's better for Italy now. You know what? Drop deep. So I mean, no more attacking threat. So
Montana, objectively, who do you think is gonna win?
So I'm going to have to head off, guys. But last, anything else to say regarding hasn't spoken about just how they thought this game is going to go?
This game? Okay.
Yeah, England versus...
Okay, prediction time, right? Okay.
Yes. Let's just go. I'll go for everyone just give me just a score prediction. So Z-Man, just give me what do you think the score is going to be?
2-1 England.
2-1 England. Montara?
2-0 Italy.
2-0 Italy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Abdullahi?
I'm gonna go 2-0 Italy, Chiesa and Lorenzo Insigne.
Good Lord, bro. If that happens at Wembley, oh Lord have mercy. I'm gonna go 2-1 Italy.
2-1 Italy. So majority Italy.
How about you?
I think it'll be 1-1 and then England lose on penalties.
Bro.
That's what I think.
See, as much as I hate England, like I'm sorry, they are not England, they are fans. Losing a penalty is like slaughtering a ram.
You're an evil person.
It'll be very.
You see, my problem with Italy is I don't trust their attack. Their attack can't finish aside from Chiesa. You can't really be dependent on their attack to execute.
I've watched this.
How did they get to the final then?
No. They lose. There's so many chances that they create, they just can't finish it.
Same thing.
I feel like
bro. Italy scored the most goals. Italy scored the most goals,
and they scored the most goals in the group stage, bro. Like, so what do you mean?
I mean, in terms of what England have, in terms of diverse amount of shooters and people that can finish, and the amount of confidence they're getting into their forward, I feel like that's going to carry them on.
Zeman, you might be right.
I told you something, and I'll repeat it again. I've watched England a lot in this tournament, and I'll say it again. One chance, just one. Give it to Federico Chiesa.
Yeah, but that's. I
think
the point is that let's just speculate. What happens if Chiesa has a bad game?
Yeah.
You have someone else off the bench or someone who can.
Berardi is a
Hey,
Berardi can't
Red
be
Devil
defended.
Studio. Insigne all one, man. All one Insigne, bro. All one.
Finesse merchant,
by the way,
bro. Don't let this guy cut in, bro.
By the way, Ciro Immobile is known as for fucking shithousery goal scoring. I'm just saying, Ciro Immobile is known for shithousery goal scoring.
It will just come into that match and just turn up.
T-Mobile, bro.
No. Well, maybe he might. I don't know. T-Mobile might, but he's
that unlimited pack, huh? We're opening that unlimited pack, bro. T-Mobile ain't gonna do anything.
We're cussing Morata, but at least Morata has done things. I don't know what Immobile has done.
We haven't talked about somebody. It's Jordan Pickford. His distribution is awful.
Yeah. That's the biggest worry.
And if you see those chances, those awful decisions he made, just give those decisions to a technical player like Insigne, technical player like Barella, Chiesa. It's gonna.
And one more thing before we just say goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, one more thing I just want to say.
Yeah.
I think so that any team, right, both of the teams, right, like they deserve to be here. But what I see is that the team who will conserve their energy most and make sure that they don't burn out in the first 90 minutes will win this tournament. Will win this final. So make sure it's anybody, bro. It could be England or it could be Italy. Make sure you conserve your energy for more than 90 minutes.
Italy had an extra day of rest too, so
yeah, you have to conserve your in the game time. I'm saying in the game itself, right? So you don't unnecessarily press very high, or intensity from the first minute. No. So you have to play very smart with that.
And that's where I can see England. That's where I could see Italy being exposed, because these guys, when they start off, they almost start off like they're nervous, like they press way too high. Sometimes they don't come into position, or they get into the game later. Like they don't usually start off that well.
I mean, to be honest, it depends, bro. Because Italy has shown two sides, huh? Mm-hmm. If they want to control the game, let's say this, right? If Italy wants to control the game, and let's say England is defending deep now, okay, you know what? Make the game boring. Take the stench out of the game. From England, bro. You know what? Back passes. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Italy can do that shit, but England cannot do as good as the way Italy plays, that kind of football. Like tiki-taka, Spanish-style football, I'm saying. So, if you do that against England and make sure that you don't give ball and take stench out of the game, and what you do is that, then in that case, England will get so uncomfortable and impatient that they will start rushing and pressing you. And at that time, you take advantage.
And you kill them. Just kill the game off.
Yeah, and for me, but I still trust Italian attackers to be more clinical than English attackers.
Yes, exactly.
Bro, I've seen Raheem Sterling many times in the big games where there's a burden on him, there's a pressure on him. He totally collapsed. And Sterling flourishes when everybody shits on him. So that's how it is, man. So I don't know, man. Can Sterling finishes against the low block or deep block opposition? Let's see, man. Let's see. I don't trust Sterling yet, man. Still, he's the best player, but finishing is not the strongest.
But there's somebody that we are never talking too much about in this tournament. It's Donnarumma. Donnarumma for me is a world-class goalkeeper. The amount of save that guy has been saving Italy, apart from having Cellini and Bonucci as a defense, Donnarumma has been. I can see him saving Kane or Sterling over and over and over again. I will not be surprised if you come out clutch.
By the way, Abdullahi, a question for Chelsea fans, right? And English Chelsea fans, right? Mm-hmm. What if Jorginho scored from a free kick goal, right? Something like that, some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. So would you accept Jorginho back in Chelsea, or your English fans?
I am a Chelsea fan. I rate Jorginho highly. So, like I said, some psycho Chelsea doesn't rate him highly, but I do, because I know he's a technical player.
No, would you accept him back? I mean, not you. I'm saying, of course, English Chelsea fans.
They have to accept him. See, on Sunday they will boo him, because why? He plays for Italy. They will boo him, and I'm very sure and confident that he has that mentality under Mauricio Sarri before, when they call him the son of Sarri, when he came out and said it, I am not the son of Sarri. It prevailed under adversity, and I'm sure Jorginho will show them that yes, despite the abuse and everything, I will prevail. So he has shown it before in Chelsea. I will not be surprised if he shows it again in Italy. So I'm not gonna be surprised, because they will boo him. They will, because he plays for Italy and it's Wembley. They will boo him. So I'm sure he will be ready for it. He will be ready.
on that note, we've got to head off, guys. Thanks everyone for listening the comments. Thanks for the wonderful panel and obviously people that are previously on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening as well. Remember, if you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. We will probably doing some sort of post-match thing after the Copa America and after
I will do what on our,
and obviously head over to Blue Studios channel. Have yourself to Abdullah Charles subscribe.
Guys, subscribe, guys. Guys,
Subscribe.
give this guy some subscription,
Yeah.
guys. Subscribe and like that.
Try and do some collaboration stuff when the season comes. Peace, everyone. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.